Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras.
Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 jet. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to boil down to. Let's go out and kick some tape. All right? Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Sit our guys after and make the play.
Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid.
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
And Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Ready, willing, and able to dominate a Tuesday in the good land. It's the Huddle. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. Thank you, Hunter, for that wonderful intro. As always, good morning. Smart, good-looking listeners on 920 in Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere in the iHeart app, and all of you streamers up with us early on YouTube, Facebook, and X as they're just rumbling in. Now, boys, I'm going to bring back an old baseball term today. This one's so old, it's probably even outside of Armen's purview. I may have mentioned it once or twice before.
It was like an old school mama joke.
Yeah, it was a phenomenon from way back in the day. And the phrase,
my purview. Let's see. Okay,
the phrase today that applies, the phrase that pays, is playing naked.
Ooh,
in baseball,
that's hot.
There was a time when, and believe it or not, it's not a good thing.
It's
naked.
not like Naked and Afraid.
Playing naked is not like Naked and Afraid. Today, I'll be playing naked today.
Naked in like the 1800s.
I'm playing naked today. Yeah. Playing naked is what the term was for back in the day when amphetamines ruled baseball. When the greenie was prevalent.
The good pot of coffee.
There was a pot of coffee that was leaded.
Yeah.
And a pot of coffee that may have been caffeinated, but not overly so.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
The amphetamine era.
Is that one hot?
So,
that's what they would say.
This one hot. So playing naked would be kind of a detriment to your team. Playing naked would be playing, like say it's a 95-degree Thursday and you just had a 15-inning game on Wednesday and you're playing a day game on Thursday. Playing naked would be playing without any amphetamines.
Okay, waking up and actually just
waking up,
going and
just going in.
How dare you?
Like the strap and go. So that was the phrase for it. You're playing naked today? What?
Yeah.
Don't you like our pitcher?
Don't you care?
You're not going to try?
I like that.
Playing naked. And that's what I'm doing today because when I had the day before I left for Mexico, I had my physical exam. And for some reason, they scheduled it at 4:00.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right.
Because they had to reschedule it. So I had to fast all day. And then I got to the clinic where I do my physical and the lab was closed.
We were out of business.
Oh, my gosh.
So I fasted for nothing. So I couldn't get any blood work done.
It's like a sitcom.
So today I am playing with, I can have water. I can have nothing else. I can't have my beef stick that I have in the morning or any protein bar. I can't have any caffeine. I can't have my daily Celsius or my Diet Mountain Dew. So this 3-hour block, I am going to be playing naked.
Now that's it. That's a better version of it. I heard playing naked and immediately as the young or very, very bottom version of the millennial, I go, damn, you've got your phone at home? You don't have your phone?
I've used that phrase in that context as well because that's about the same thing.
You're sitting there like tapping, all of a sudden you're getting like these weird compulsions by your leg, like the phone is vibrating. No, it's
phantom vibrating.
In 2026, and even before, there are certain things you can go without during a day. There are not many more than not having a phone. You just can't. That's one thing. I always fear, at least where we work in this business. You always fear not being there when the curtain goes up, being late, sleeping in, all these things. That's one thing I would turn around to go home and risk being late for. You almost can't function without it's sad, not sad to say maybe, but it almost seems sad to say, but you almost can't function without a phone.
So that would be number one. I don't know, man, but as I take a huge swig out of the
that's a big
industrial sized cup of coffee that I bring in each and every day. I don't know. Play without caffeine for the 5 a.m. wake up.
That's what I'm saying.
That's about as close to 1B as you can get.
I'll tell my wife, I don't like to use the term hero, but if you want to ascribe that to me, that's it's okay.
Hey, not all wear capes. I think we're going to learn that today. But we're going to be here to help lift some of that burden and ease some of that stress. However, we're also going to be here, in case that lack of a beef stick here in the morning all of a sudden catches you in the 7:00 hour, which it definitely can.
Yes.
That lack of protein is a tough deal.
All right, so the fasting thing, it's so funny too, because there are times when you go 18 hours. A lot of people do intermittent fasting
nowadays.
Yeah, intermittent fasting. Everybody.
Yeah.
I only eat in a 6-hour window every day. I eat between noon and 6, and that's it. And then I can eat whatever I want. Nah, it's not really how it works. Intermittent fasting does work for some people.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, as I was in Mexico last week, when my cousin is getting more into health stuff, and he's just like, if you do like a 3 or 4 day or even a 2-day water fast, it kind of resets your metabolism and it can cut your risk of cancer. He saw some study. If you do like a 4-day water, if you fast like 4 days a year or something, I don't even know if they have to be consecutively.
To do cleanses or whatever.
Yeah.
Cleanses.
A toxin reset or whatever. That's the newest thing that's in vogue. Now, the thing about that is you think about it in theory, and it's like people who say, I could do 6 months in jail. I wouldn't be that bad. Right? It's like when you can't,
tougher one.
You could do it if you're not thinking about it. If you're really busy during the day, it's like, I didn't eat anything.
That happens sometimes.
And I've done that all the time. So I could totally just string 4 of those together and I wouldn't think about it.
Well, when and it's a mandate and an edict that you can't eat anything, damn, you get hungry. Your mind plays some tricks.
Right.
Now, they say when you're fasting, like after the first day, the hunger goes away and you start getting more energized, and it might go peak and valleys, but you kind of adjust and your body adjusts and you start using your stores and you're burning fat or whatever.
The keto flu, isn't that what they call it?
Kind of.
Like or whatever, when your body starts transitioning to fat. I don't know.
Ketosis.
Not that I would
burning.
know. I mean, I keep telling myself I'm not going to do sugar during Lent. And then what happens?
And I see you eyeing up Shannon's peach rings yesterday all the time.
Yeah, I didn't eat one of those, but I did indulge myself in a little Cop's ice cream last night. So I guess I didn't do it.
I guess you didn't do it.
It is tough for me, though, because it definitely, you bring up intermittent fasting, and thanks to my friends in Milwaukee Weight Loss, got to learn that definitely works. And it can absolutely work. And the cycles and the timing of it all is a thing. And whatever the best remedy for anybody to say, you should exercise for this amount of time on that kind of pace with your heart rate in this. It all depends on what you put into your body is what ends up fueling you to be healthier. But Drew, you said it to me is like a lot of, just about anything that's good in this world, anything that's worth having. And food for a 300-pounder is always right near the top of the list. Right near the top of the list. Everything's always worth indulging yourself on one bite and maybe twice. You only crave it when you're told you can't.
When you're told you can't
when you're told you can't have it, you're like, man, butter pecan ice cream.
Sure.
Sounds amazing.
Right.
You know, the little sweetness in there. So, I've never eaten it in my entire life. You tell me I can't have ice cream, I'll enjoy any bit of it. The 72-hour water fast, though. I've had a couple of people throw this one at me. That, if that's the ticket to not getting cancer, as a gambler, I almost feel like I have to take the risk.
You're rolling the dice.
I almost feel like I have to take the shot.
Should we do it as a show? Let's go in. Let's go. See if we can do it.
I mean, listen, we're all going to have
electrolytes. See how much weight you lose. That's like the opposite of the Thanksgiving contest that guy, Paul Standring, the former Badgers punter. They weigh themselves going in and then see who can gain the most weight and the most coming out in the course of one meal.
Is this like
the opposite?
You can only have water? Can you drink broth?
That's what they're saying with a water fast. Yeah.
No
water.
broth. No,
I believe so.
I think so. Yeah. There's if you can mix in electrolytes or you can.
Well, that's my question
because
like
that.
I understand the concept of food, but then there are things like can you have like mixes in the water to give yourself electrolytes?
I don't know.
Let's expand this. I say we go on the Huddle hunger strike for Hunger Task Force. And we raise some money, and we go on a 72-hour fast.
Now we're talking. When there's a motivation at the end, it's incredible what the human body can do. But if that motivation is I get to dunk on my wife that I actually did it, I don't know that that's big enough for 72 hours. Knowing that we're raising some money, that could help.
No, I think that would be a pretty important, pretty significant achievement, don't you think?
My friends at the Potawatomi Sportsbook have given me a quick update that I am a minus 10,000 favorite to be the first to crack on the hunger strike.
Over under buyer. We're doing buy or sell today. Is it buy or sell? Will we be able to do that 72 hours? I mean, that's tough. 72 hours is tough. I mean, it's one day is one thing, but
I don't know. Accountability to the boys is a thing now.
Well, I get it.
If you know the guys are doing it and you don't want to let down your brother. I mean, think about the USA hockey team, Armen. Think about those guys. They didn't want to let down their brother. Jack Hughes didn't want to sit there and go get stitched up there. He had to go out there and get back on the ice.
Go out there, get back on the ice and get a penalty.
Damn near lose the game.
Yeah, exactly.
You had to get back out there for the boys because they're battling. If you know that Drew and I are sitting there just guts and shambles because we haven't eaten in 35 hours, are you really going to go to the cabinet and make yourself a peanut butter and banana sandwich?
You don't want to be the one to let everyone down. I understand what you're saying.
The thing is, I don't have my my Celsius or my Diet Mountain Dew handy, my morning beverages, my morning weapons. You guys, could you put away the coffee? Because that's probably, is it tougher to kick caffeine than food?
Oh,
It's
well,
tough.
that's a part of it.
I think the headaches would come more from the caffeine withdrawal than the food withdrawal.
Yeah, that's where the gut pains and like the me griping and bitching and moaning would be the tougher part about the hunger.
We'll
the
all be
caffeine
irritable.
is the one where the headache comes.
Yeah,
If
we'll
you
all
could
be
drink-
irritable.
If
I
you
think.
could, maybe if you could just drink the coffee and stuff like that.
Well, that's where with a lot of the intermittent fasting that we had done, and I had done with Milwaukee weight loss too. It's actually kind of a natural diuretic, I believe is the way they said it, especially when you don't add, all the cream, sugar, Splenda, and all the stuff that makes it taste really, really good. And you just drink the coffee for what it is. Coffee, it's actually decent for you.
If I think my thing is, if I could find some legitimate data-driven evidence that this is going to help me, I might convince myself I could do it.
All right, you're
doubting the science.
You have medical people in your family. I say you consult.
Because I can't imagine a lot of people sitting there saying you should just starve yourself for 3 days is a healthy thing. But I don't know. I mean, I guess it's all relative.
I mean, it's not going to really hurt you.
Well, yeah, but a lot of things
us.
don't really hurt me, but I don't do them. You know what I mean?
But if it did,
but
if the study shows that like a 72-hour fast reduces your chance of getting cancer by like any percentage, isn't it worth it?
It's somewhat tempting. I
do
have
it
to
once
agree.
a year.
I would
mean,
have to agree.
People fast during Ramadan. People fast
they
during
do.
religious stuff.
I think
Armen
it's
mentioned
also more
Lent.
like-
I'm wondering what has anybody out there given up anything for Lent that they need a challenge that they need a support group? 877-794-1973. NicoletLaw.com talking text line. Because I think the Bucks gave up winning games for Lent.
Yeah, I think that was the key.
That was the key.
No, thank you guys. We're
no
good.
thanks. We're good. Yeah, we're not going to win anymore. But this is the time of sacrifice for many. It's also the time of fish fries on Friday and sometimes on Wednesday.
Yeah. People are having them all day long.
As Big Fish has
Kid decided that last night in the middle of bedtime. You know what? I need fish sticks. Oh, thanks, bud.
That's awesome.
That's a great smell as we're about to go to bed.
Your worst nightmare, Billy.
Just the worst, dude.
Now, that's one that'll keep you from eating.
Correct.
If people just cook seafood in your house all night for 3 days, all day and all night, you won't have any appetite. True or false?
That's probably
By
true.
yourself.
It would probably.
I'm buying that. I'm buying that,
That might be
especially
your
if the
ticket.
scent is right near me the entire time.
You have to be away from temptation.
Anchovy scent and tuna all over the place.
If the water fast, I'd be interested. Like, what's the average weight loss in 3 days
Good
of
question.
not eating? And then the first meal, does it go right back on when you have some sodium or something?
That's what I'm guessing.
Because you lose a lot of water weight really quick.
Yeah, for
Anybody
sure.
who's made weight and cut weight for wrestling.
Mhm.
Oh, you see those guys with the 6 sweatsuits on in the sauna
gosh.
doing jumping jacks and stuff.
Running and stuff like that.
All
to
my
be able to get
buddies
through it.
after school running around the school hallways with garbage bags on.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. All right. So Justin in Jacksonville on the talking text line. The 72-hour fast, you can only do water and electrolytes, coffee, black, or broth.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a
There's
thing.
a
Broth
little,
is key.
a little loophole, but it's like it's
Yeah.
basically liquid only and obviously no sugar,
Yeah.
no nothing. I think we should try it. I don't know. Pick a
Dana
day.
White, I did an 86-hour water fast, and I feel incredible. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. I love that being the tagline. of here.
Obviously, I'm not.
But I've been told by experts the water fasting can help significantly reduce the risk of cancer, Alzheimer's, and a ton of other health issues. So I like that it's going to be, it can only eliminate cancer. It can actually regenerate hair growth.
Throwing in Alzheimer's, all kinds of stuff.
Like it might
hair
completely
growth.
change your entire
Yeah,
life.
You don't need to buy.
I mean,
any
this guy
hymns.
went from like 400 pounds to about 200 in this picture on a 72-hour water
Do you
fast.
think
I mean, that's
people-
pretty incredible
Do you
right
think
there.
people more tend to indulge after, like once the clock
that's
runs
the
out,
question.
they
Or
do
is
like
your
the-
appetite then diminished? Like
do
I'm
like the Enos Cantor.
Hey,
cheat
you know
day?
what? I'm 12
that?
hours in already. I got a head start on you guys. I could just keep it going.
I was going to
yeah,
say,
I
I
mean-
think you should just keep this going and
Just
let
keep
us
it
know how
going.
it goes. And then by
haven't eaten this
then
since,
we will
for
jump
the
on
team,
it.
Drew.
Yeah, well, then we'll jump on
You
it to
take
make sure
her in
that
the
it
back
rolls.
and let us know.
Yeah.
Take one for the
If
team.
we're gonna do this, I need time to mentally prepare though.
Yeah,
I need like
oh.
a date to target.
Armen, you would need 3 weeks to research it and get all the medical journals and make sure
Well,
that you're not like going to compromise your health in any way.
Well, compromise. I just want to know like different strategies to go overcome
What
it.
if you walk in today back home and Laura's like, "Hey, I heard you guys talking about that water fast. Let's do it. That's a great idea."
Yeah.
And
If
you're like,
Laura, if Laura does it,
wait a second.
Hard
what?
to do with
no, you can't have two people. You can't have both people in the house doing it.
you almost
then
have to, don't
Yeah,
you?
I think you almost have to.
because then both people are going to be irritable,
Like,
angry.
no, well, Billy, on Milwaukee
mad.
weight loss, I mean, you're only making one dinner and stuff, but if you almost had that, you need that support because if she's grilling up pork chops and stuff and roasting potatoes
I
and you're
get
in the
that.
middle of a fast and you can't eat, that's torture.
That's cruel and unusual punishment.
Yeah.
It was to the point where my wife would go to Chick-fil-A and throw the bag in the garbage. So like I didn't even
you
have
didn't
to
even
see it.
That's
Yeah,
good.
right. That's what's up. So I would counter that, Armen. I think you do need a support system.
I think you do. I
But
think
again,
you have
this is
to.
the team part of it. Like it's easier, but maybe and Armen is in Olympic mode, right? So he's in, this is all for one, all for all. And he's just believing that it's an individual thing. No, this is a process.
So
This is the entire group.
I'm
and the
torn.
entire
So
collective.
I leave the show today and I go and get these laps done. And then I was like, all right, so I'm going to go get myself a bacon, egg, and cheese bagel and break the fast. So the question is, if you were on a fast for any length of time, what's your first meal? It's the opposite of the last meal when you're on death row. Like you haven't eaten for 72 hours and you're going to crush it. Like they would probably
Your
say,
death row meal, yeah.
have some fruit, maybe some toast, maybe a banana or
Yep,
something.
just
electrolytes,
get yourself rolling a
to
little
get
bit.
rolling a little
Yep.
bit. But if you like your first signature destination, I'm going like the half and half Speed Queen ribs and shoulder combo. Or
Good
barbecue pork and shoulder and
That's
ribs.
a good one, yeah.
That'd be a good one.
Well,
With Wonder Bread on the side.
Yeah, and you know, since it is the start of the new league year here today, basically with the NFL Combine starting in Indianapolis and Brian Gutekunst talking in a few hours from right now, I keep seeing people post pictures of St. Elmo.
Yeah, Magler's there. St. Elmo
and
season.
here's the complete caveat to the part of the seafood. The only seafood I will eat is that shrimp cocktail at St. Elmo.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Because
so good.
People
Yeah.
hate it, and people.
It's a rite of passage.
It is a right, but damn, does that? You want to talk about a fast, and you want to talk about cleansing yourself?
That is so spicy, man.
You walk in there in the middle and late portion of February, and you might have a little bit of a head cold. You might have a little something going on in your sinuses. Maybe you never really fully got over that sinus infection you had 6 weeks ago. Over
everything
after
out.
2 bites of that shrimp cocktail.
It is so spicy. And the thing is, they sell it
So
at the grocery
good.
store.
They sell it now at Costco.
Yeah,
I buy
see
it.
that. Pick and
So
save
good.
everywhere.
I
Yeah, you
buy
can
it all
sell
the
that.
time.
You can sell that or buy that stuff at grocery. It's spicy, but it's good. But it's like,
But is
man.
it like the Chick-fil-A sauce where they tell you it's the same one? It
Good
still
question.
doesn't really taste the same.
Well, it's like if you buy the Gardetto's rye chips in the rye chip only bag, it ain't the same. You got to have it in the mix. That's what makes it naturally
In the mix.
You know, it's got to be part of the
Armen.
mix. You
gotta be
can't
in the
just.
mix.
You
Get
can't
you
just.
a Gardetto sponsorship.
I need something
You
like
need
that.
something.
My dad are
That's
the
a
only
local
guys
company,
that talk
man.
about it all the time.
Get out of town. People love Gardetto's. You think we're the only ones that like it?
No, that's not what I said.
All right,
I
you're
said
right. I did.
you're
I
the only
bastardized your
people I
comment.
ever hear talking about it.
I love
Not that
talking
people
about
aren't talking about it. Not that people aren't enjoying them.
I ranked all the
You're
pieces
just
on Twitter.
outwardly into, hey,
Yeah.
snacks around. Give me some Gardetto. Forget anything else.
I do love it. I ranked the pieces on Twitter once. Got no engagement. Couldn't believe it. Unbelievable.
If you would have put,
Gardetto's.
should Brandon Ayuk be a Packer in there, maybe you would have
Yeah,
gotten
I
that
should.
engagement.
Yeah.
Then you
Yeah,
would have
or-
gotten the engagement you were looking for.
I should have put Ham and Bears, and I would have had every kid in Palatine going at my ass. That's what it is. But that's all right. They don't know what it's going to be like when I'm on my juice cleanse. I'm at my water cleanse. When we start this water cleanse, I'm going to be so on one, so irritable, so edgy. I'm going to take it all out on Twitter.
Armen should go to the Gardetto's plant over on 6th Street and just see if
my
they got
gosh.
any,
Place is
factory
awesome.
seconds and stuff.
Yes, 100%.
Why haven't I done that? That's a great idea,
Day old rye chips.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
When I was a kid, we went to the Jelly Belly spot in Kenosha, and they used to give the free samples when you went through at the end. I remember thinking to myself, why don't I do this every day? Like, why don't people come to this every day?
Was that
and just get
after
free-
you,
free
just
candy?
gave the poor tour guide hell the entire time asking where the actual factory was?
I didn't say it out loud to him. All right. I did think that the whole time, though. I mean, we're riding around a warehouse in a little trolley, and I'm like, this is not a factory. This is a distribution center, but it's okay. Your product is still delicious.
It is good.
You know?
Always good. Great field trip when you're a kid.
Tim on the talk and text line said, I'd do it with you guys. He's all for the 72-hour water fast, but I picked up a Costco pot pie last night, and for that reason, I'm out.
Dude, pot pie, good. Shepherd's pie at Costco.
Next level.
My God. When you threw that thing in, that was a different beast. I had the Costco lasagna last night. That also pretty dang good.
It's so indulgent. It's so, I don't know what the right, it's comfort food, right?
You're damn right. You're damn right. Especially when we thought that we were into spring and we get blasted back in here. Next week, it's going to be what, 55? It's going to be 55 on Friday, and then it's going to snow the next day.
We're getting one good day. Yeah,
great day for shepherd's pie.
We're getting 52 Friday and 31 in snow.
Fall, spring happening these days.
Oh, come on. If you really believed that it was spring.
No.
You're a rookie.
Nope. 877-794-1973. All right, we meandered through that first segment. Billy.
How you feeling?
Billy did. I'm feeling all right now.
The
caffeine, the lack of caffeine will get me about when Dolph gets here, I'll be dragging it. If Dolph comes in, if there's any donuts around, I'm going to freak out.
Well, see, we don't have.
Someone had brought in a sinker.
I don't have Glazers. I don't think there's any crawlers.
No, there's nothing around here.
Good. Now the question is, at 9 o'clock, do I just when I finish the lab work, do I just immediately go to get chicken minis?
I was going to say it's going to depend how close to Chick-fil-A is.
Mile down the road is chicken minis.
That's a tough beast.
Take me to Popeyes.
Yeah, there's going to be a 10 count.
All right. We got the combine. We were talking about the combine today because the NFL. You're right. The NFL league year. Let's get it going.
Talking today. Come on now.
He's going to talk today. What would you ask? What would you ask Goody? What are the topics? Ask him his cheat meal or his.
Definitely might get asked it.
And you might get asked that. All right, we are off and running. Thank you for being up early with us, you early risers and sociopaths waiting to get into the Y. It's the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. We're huddling up on a Tuesday. Club going up on a Tuesday. Billy, Drew, Armen, The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 in Madison, worldwide on the iHeartRadio app, streaming live, Facebook, X, and of course the YouTube. Combine is underway, kind of, because I saw Nags posting his table and his St. Elmo's run. Billy, you've been to the Combine. What's it like? That's something I've never covered. What's it like as a media scum, pond scum media? What's it like to be there? What's it like to be in the belly of the beast? Where the NFL, it's not the same as the Super Bowl week, but it's kind of like the next step down.
Yeah, not the same as the Super Bowl week, but a lot more relaxed than the Super Bowl week, right? I mean, even though for 30 teams, Super Bowl week's nothing, right? It's just get as much interviews, get as many interviews, get as much content, get as many conversations and glad handing as you can. And the Combine comes to now everyone's taken their, ski break, or they've gone out to the desert, or they've gone out to Florida and they've warmed up. They went to Hawaii. So now the football folks are back ready to mingle again and hang out a little bit. They had their 3 weeks with their families and back out to it. The interesting thing is everybody is just kind of wandering around. And I seems to me kind of like what people used to say the winter meetings were like. When you've told me some stories of what the baseball winter meetings were like. I didn't experience as much good access as you can. However, I just was like the fly on Nagler's wall, kind of followed around and found myself into a lot of different conversations that otherwise probably wouldn't have been in. So it's cool from the standpoint of seeing, decision makers out having dinner. However, it seems to be such a different event than it always has, Drew, because it starts today with the conversations at the podiums, and then the conversation into, some offshoot hallway where the local guys will get 45 minutes to an hour with Goody. And then, the workouts start later into the week. And by that time, there's the people that are working on the actual broadcast, but seemingly everybody else is gone at that time. And, for 10 years ago, anybody that was associated with football decision-making had to be in Indianapolis for the information. Now, I think that's definitely taken a little bit of a step back.
The young guns, the guys that Michael Silver wrote about in his book, The Why Is Everything.
Yeah.
The Shanahan, McVay, LaFleur, Raheem, like those guys decided, we're not going.
We're not going. We're just going to stay here and watch all the stuff.
That's for the eggheads and the player. You get us the groceries, we'll cook the dinner.
Yeah, and then there's also, there's some GMs that I think like their most important thing, the thing that they talk about the most, is the conversations that you can have with the players. That makes sense to me, right? Like, however, it's 15 minutes. How much can you actually get to know somebody in a 15-minute setting? But I think there's always one or two clear-cut issues that you can have in a first impression. And I think you can get those out of the way in those combine sit-downs.
And we always hear about the crazy questions they try to get guys off their guard and stuff like that. Yeah. And I saw Amy Trask, the longtime NFL official and stuff. She's on the X and posted on social that one of her scouts or something said that he asked a player, if you were a vegetable, what kind of vegetable would you be? And he was like proud of that question. And she said when she heard him relay that story in her head, she immediately said, how much did I spend to send this guy to the combine for a week? What was his hotel and his flight? Like, how much did I spend?
This is what we're expensing.
This is it. Like, this is what I spent the money on. And she started to recalculate the resource allotment.
I think this a lot better.
Yeah. Because it's
the funny thing in this day, though, in this day of the age and in sports and the NFL, where everybody's trying to get any possible edge they can to try and win. And it's so important to teams, to coaches, to players. You almost are surprised that not everyone's trying to find some way to get there, to try and find some angle that might help their team to convince themselves that all these things are important. But you do wonder, like, how much of a job fair aspect, like, kind of feel is there to this? Where it's like you go to a job fair and it's like you might shake hands with somebody in front of their booth and get a little trinket for 5 minutes. But are you really learning about them? Are they really learning about you? Other than just being there, networking and showing a face?
Well, and that's where there's a lot of that, Armen. There's a lot of job fair-esque praying that you interact with the right person and somebody is able to hit you with a job offer and you're able to go pro in something other than sport, or don't have to go pro in something other than sports because you're still kind of holding on to that dream. There's a lot of hopeful scouts out there. There's a lot of hopeful position coaches out there, and a lot of guys doing whatever they can to be in the industry and to stay in it. I love it. I wish I was there. I again, the bad scheduling and idiocy by me to be able to potentially miss it, but also difficulty being able to get down there and back up. But there's information to be had. There's a lot of good stories to be told, but there's also in the stuff that's more fun and the stuff that's going to probably matter a lot more to football fans is the stuff that we end up finding out about next week, because coaches and GMs that do go down there, or more than that, GMs and agents that are down there, start laying some groundwork as to what we're going to see in free agency in a month.
Start to chirp a little bit. Yeah, it starts to it's like the fruit at the bottom of the yogurt. You stir it up, it's like, okay.
Yeah. Oh, this is a little bit better than I was thinking. Yeah, there is a little bit in here. Yep.
There's the blueberries and the strawberries at the bottom of the yogurt.
Is there any value, and I'm sure the old school scouts would say this, I'm going to play devil's advocate. Is there a real deeper value in seeing guys in person athletically? I mean, what they do, the 40 times and things, other than just seeing their numbers listed on a sheet? Or, because it's all recorded, right? So if you're looking for RAS score, what do they talk about all the time?
Yeah.
Or is it like the old school, I'm thinking of, what's the movie with Amy at Trouble with the Curve, right? Where it's like, no, I got to see it. I got to feel it. I got to get a sense of how the guy moves. And then maybe the old school scouts say, because I was there with my own eyes, I saw it, and therefore I caught an edge on somebody.
Yeah, but I think those old school scout parts where it's like in Moneyball, what you should see his girlfriend, and I got to hear the crack of the bat. Those guys are seeing that. They're doing a lot more of that at the Senior Bowl, where you're able to see them in a practice setting, or going to games.
Yeah,
pro days even, or
pro days, like pro days
would be a thing.
I think you're right, Billy. Like, don't you get more out of going to games?
1,000%.
But they can just see film. So why does a guy need to be in the box? Because you've been there. It's a different experience. You can watch a guy. How does he go about warmups?
How
is he on the sideline? When I'm watching a guy, it's like I'm watching the stuff that might not catch on tape that you can get from being in the venue. So I get the value of having scouts, because a lot of baseball teams now, they're advanced. In the playoffs, you see the press boxes before games get more crowded because there's advanced scouts. Whereas during the season, if you're getting ready for a 3-game series and Brewers are playing Baltimore, it's the one time they're going to play. Is like, the Brewers will just scout that on video. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
Playoffs, you start to fan out and you start to look for every edge. And you start to have your scouts ask idiot writers like me what's going on with teams, and like they
poke around
to get information. They're like you said, they're looking for every edge, every no stone unturned.
And I think now you're hearing probably, and I would assume in these back and forths, there's a lot less numbers being exchanged, because that just allows you now an extra 3 weeks to go shop them around and see like, hey, this is what my guy could be getting here. This is what they could be getting here. But like going to games, I think of a couple of years ago when Alabama was at Camp Randall, and all of a sudden walk in by the brats, get the halftime brat, actually a pregame brat there at that point. And right in front of me getting a brat was John Schneider, general manager of the Seattle Seahawks. Now he was looking at Milroe on the other side and ended up drafting him in the 3rd round, but they were all there they were there for the first quarter. They wanted to see how you interact during training or during the pregame warmups. They wanted to see how you worked through that time. There's also then a aspect of earlier in the season, you almost see more scouts at a lot of those games, Drew, because as much as you can see and still get film from the guys that play at South Dakota or the guys that are playing at Western Michigan, there's always 1 or 2 prospects there. They want to see how those guys are playing against the upper echelon teams and how they're handling the environment. So there's that, to me, Armen, is the old school. I got to see it with my own eyes. They're doing that at games because then those guys would then say, this is the underwear. What am I seeing here? When is he broad jumping in a football game?
Yeah.
I don't see you lining up going 1, 2, 3 and seeing if you can jump 10 feet.
And maybe people would like roll their eyes at this, but I see a lot of it is like a lot of, I don't want to say fake hustle, but maybe extra busy.
No, that's
work.
what you want to say. You're just going to try to find a different way of putting it.
I don't know if that's totally, because I do think it's not fake. Like I think these guys are hustling and they do want to work hard, but a lot of it might be unnecessary. Like if you have your own stopwatch, but they're going to list the time right there, why are you keeping your own time of the guy? Like 100 guys with, it's like the old baseball scouting where 100 guys had speed guns because you don't trust the 15 speed guns next to you. Just copy out the guy next to you. Like, you know what I mean? Or listen, you're at the official NFL combine. They're going to list everything, right?
You think somebody is going to give you that information?
Okay,
get it yourself.
But the NFL provides it, like the 40 time and stuff.
Well, that's why I don't know that you actually have as many guys with a stopwatch as you think. I don't know that there's as many guys sitting there now with all the radars and things like that.
Guys that want to feel
pro days, they might still.
The college might cook the books on the.
Yeah, that one but like the NFL Combine, guys aren't doing that.
Oh, okay, that's kind of what I was wondering because
they might be charting it down and reading it on an iPad, maybe catching up on some reruns.
Yeah, or that commercial where they use AI to find out where the best prospect is. Did you guys see that one? There's an AI or somebody, ChatGPT. Tell me what's the guy that most projectly like out as the top linebacker, and then they figure it out. Then they'll fist bump each other. They found their next great player,
and IBM got them their next.
Because nobody else would have figured it out. I don't know. It just. And you know, you look at any NFL roster and there's like 25 coaches. There's so many positions. And I'm like, do all these guys really do something important? But when you're keeping score and you want to win, and winning is so important in the NFL to a lot of people, I get it. You're going to try and find.
But I don't even know that it's just the team. The games are keeping. Obviously, the games keep scoring. That's what you get judged upon and get hired and fired upon. But like yesterday, the rush for information is out there. There is a crazy, insatiable thirst for football conversation.
That's true.
Dan Orlovsky puts out yesterday, like, hey, I'm starting to dig in the first 5 games of the Mendoza tape. Like, not as good as I thought. All of a sudden, somebody's like, this is what's wrong about the national experts. How on earth do you not know and haven't studied one of the best prospects in the draft already? Bub, the Super Bowl was 15 days ago.
Yeah, you're right.
Like,
Billy.
I mean,
We're
we're
watching the NFL.
Yeah,
which is
we're
his
still
job.
2 months away from them going up there and reading these names off.
That's a good point.
In Pittsburgh.
There's
a long time here that we still have to fill with more conversation. So we can all get there. We got time, but it does start here.
So it's more for media and analysts to get content, less so than
100%.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's
This is shoveling coal into the furnace.
Yeah, this to me, Drew, like when you made the story, or you told us the story of all of a sudden you pieced together a 4-player Brewer trade.
Yeah,
that all of a sudden was
about
the
to get source on that.
Yeah, like this is where you want to find sources to be able to go through it. And also maybe we want you to manufacture some conversations because we are waiting for somebody to figure out where's Kirk Cousins going to play quarterback next year. Oh my goodness. Is Aaron Rodgers going to play? You want to start finding some of these little rumblings. I got some ideas on Malik Willis. Some wild salary projections on Malik Willis.
Yeah, no doubt.
Big numbers.
Here's one for you, and it's a little tease because we'll start buying or selling in about 20 minutes. You buying or selling that given in the same circumstance with the same surroundings, environment, and everything, Malik Willis wins you more games than Francisco Mendoza. Same coaching staff, like because it's hard because they're going to go to different circumstances, and obviously the Raiders are the Raiders. But if you gave the keys to either one of those guys in the same circumstance with the same coaches, teammates, surroundings, who wins more games?
I would think Willis because he's learned more in the NFL, right? Like he's got the more of the institution.
Willis in year 1, but what about over 5 years?
Right. Yeah.
See, there's the thing.
And how much better can Mendoza be in that building? And how much Tom Brady is just salivating to have himself a Francisco Mendoza that all he can see is the AI 20-year version clone of him sitting there. He had cooked up in his basement.
Yeah.
Giddy up. Hey, we're off and running. Shooting shirts are off. I'm still starting to get a little hungry, starting to get a little caffeine fog.
Bad news for you. It's got a long way to go, Drew.
I'm 12 hours in.
No, you're almost there.
2-hour fast.
12 hours in.
60 more,
3
brother.
hours to
you
go
sure you
till
want to do that fast?
3 hours to go till the blood work, and then I'll decide. Game day decision about whether I keep it going or not. I'm betting the under. Just saying.
Go to Game Day Men's Health. They'll help you a lot.
Might be some Chick-fil-A and some Glazers in my future. The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Tuesday edition of the Huddle rolls along from headquarters. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. 877-794-1973 gets you to the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Share your thoughts with streamers. There's always the conversation on the YouTube stream.
Chat's rolling, baby.
Keep
Chat's
that
rolling.
going. Yeah, absolutely. It's a buy or sell Tuesday. We're going to be spinning through your propositions. Get those to us, and we'll kick them around and play with them like kittens with a ball of yarn.
Yeah, and like John said, isn't the combine really for guys that would get drafted day 2 and day 3? Somewhat, yeah, and absolutely so. There's also a lot of guys that move in and out of that first round over the next couple of days. Not necessarily because it means that much, but that there's a possibility, like a J.J. Watt was probably a second or third round pick before he went and tested through the moon at the combine. And I think he ended up going, 11 or 12? Like he shot up boards after what he did there. And there's a lot of guys that do that.
What's the more frustrating thing as a fan and a consumer? Is it like seeing guys rise and fall on the draft board mythically? Like even like when the haze in the barn, combine's over, pro days are over, and you still hear guys like, he's fallen, and like it's agent speak, GM speak.
A lot of
like
great rhetoric.
No one's giving any good information. That part of it with the prospects and with the draft guys, or free agency rumors? What's more frustrating when you're chasing your tail on free agency rumors, or you know?
If you're asking for a fan, for me, I think it's free agency, because those are known quantities, at least more so in the NFL than draft. Because like a lot of times,
be known quantities.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But you've seen them play in the league, or you know what they've done in the league. I mean, unless you watch a lot of college and draft analysis, college football. I mean, even if you watch a lot of college, it's still unknown about what guys will do in the league. So if I hear of a guy going up and down draft boards, there's still two factors. One, it's like, well, I don't know if they'll go to my team anyway. And two, it's an unknown quantity. So I don't know how much it'll affect what it is. Like, how much should I emotionally invest in a guy going up and down a draft board when I don't even know how good he'll be in the league?
Right. Like, I love the draft because I love college football. So I love watching these. I see so many of these guys play during the season, and then you enjoy seeing how it rolls this way. The free agency rumor, to me, Drew, the biggest issue is what Armen just said there, is like they're a known quantity, but it's also what you've seen are their highlights in the NFL. Or the couple of numbers and seen, well, this is what he's already done in the NFL. Therefore, he is going to absolutely do that when he rolls into town.
Which is never a guarantee.
Which is very rarely what happens, because a lot of times once you hit free agency in the NFL, there's a reason you hit free agency in the NFL. The team's hoping that you hit free agency, and they have made the conscious decision that they no longer want you to play for them for the kind of inflated number that you're about to get. So I think the free agency one I kind of laugh at more. The draft one irritates me more because of what you said there. There's nothing else we can be doing. There's no conversation that they've had. They've already gone on all their 30 visits. We're 2 weeks away from the draft. You're just trying to politic and make sure that a running back is actually getting drafted in the first round.
All right. So if you interview a guy, it's a little bit like what's going on with recruiting now and guys taking visits and stuff. Because you interview a guy at combine, you like him, then you bring him to your facility, but some of that is smoke to throw teams off the trail of what you might do.
Sure.
Right. And so I wonder if other teams even pay attention to that. Like, what other teams is he visiting? Are they interested in him? Like, they brought him in for a visit and they pick ahead of us. Like, then does that make us want to itch to trade up, or do they even buy into that smoke?
I don't know. And maybe it's just because there's so many of these guys know each other so much. Like, I don't know that there's as much paper trail covering as maybe there once was, right? Because like you said, all of it's sport. Everybody knows where all of it is. Everyone knows who actually is there. And at the end of the day, if you like somebody and you want them to be a part of your team, you should go and make sure that you get them, right? Like, and I think you have enough backed information. For sure, people know that the agents are going to always inflate where and how many teams are talking to them and how excited teams are for them. But I think they have a pretty good ballpark of this guy's going to go in the 50s. And if we want to get, or Brian Branch in particular, we want to go get Brian Branch, where the Detroit Lions, we better go to 45 and get him from the Packers. Yeah. They can have 49 and we'll figure that one out.
It's more about like you scout other teams' draft tendencies and their needs, right? And then and I think how much of it is also the fact that like the area scouts and the way that's divvied up, the way they carve up the duties, like if you're scouting a guy, you're watching his games and you're hanging around and you're going to that conference and you're following that player, and there's guys from other teams following that player, and you go have beers with them after, or you're having drinks at the hotel bar because you're all at the same crappy hotel, or go at the rental car counter. Where is that the nexus of information where guys find out like, oh yeah, I really like this guy, but my GM doesn't, he's not listening to me. He wants to take a corner. Like, how much of that?
And that's
at that level.
Yeah. I think that stuff is actually going, and I think those guys would actually get ticked if they're not getting listened to in the room when they're trying to vouch for their dude. Yes.
Recreational ragging among scouts is probably where a lot of that stuff
100%
germinates.
100%.
Yeah. And then is that they use that, and then if you get information from a guy who's had one too many or something, you tell your GM like, oh, they're not going to take his guy. They're not interested. They're leaning towards taking that other guy.
Well, and that's not much different for like the old days for the writers, right? Of sourcing and kind of farming for information that way, right? True, that's just the way you guys had to do it, and it's no different for those guys in that sense. So there's probably a lot of kindred spirit in that regard that the old writers would have, plus the guys that are employed there is trying to, you see what the word on the street is. Keep your ear to the ground, and that. It's sort of like coaches at the Final Four. It still is their big reunion in college basketball. It's like no matter what it is, it's to be there, to be seen, to talk.
Convention.
It's a convention in a lot of ways, more than just actually seeing the teams playing.
Well, and now too, they have to also bring some endorsers out, or bring some donors out here. Let's bring some donors out to the Final Four. Let's get some more cash. I think of the Combine in Indy, and I believe the Final Four is in Indy this year. The Final Four is in Indy this year. I was just wondering, guys, if it becomes the Hammond Bears, is Indy going to try to politic for it to go to Hammond, Indiana, or back to their lovely Indianapolis, which is the hosting city?
You're right, Billy. Indy.
It's Indy for the Final Four.
Yeah.
Because they've been trying to pull this Combine out of Indy, and Indy's like, hold our beer. We got Hammond.
As much fun as it's been to watch it, especially like I imagine Armen, Bears fans are being quiet in your mentions for once because of this,
Yes and no, but I know what you're going to say. They're probably going to end up in Arlington, right?
They should.
I agree. To me, it's a no, but I'm not buying any of this.
I agree, but it's been fun to crack off these jokes.
It's fun to make the jokes, but it's like not going to happen. Not going to happen. All right, shooting shirts are off. Buying or selling begins in earnest in the next hour of the program. Dolph's going to be here at 6:30. You're hanging out with us, early risers. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras.
Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, be alert for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 10. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we come on down to. Let's go out and kick some tape. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Send our guys after you and make the play.
Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Sanchez, we ready?
Ready.
Ready to take on the 6 o'clock hour of the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you from headquarters. It's Buy or Sell Tuesday. We want your propositions. 877-794-1973. The NicoletLaw.com. Talk and text line about to go buzzing, along with the YouTube comments and people streaming on Facebook and X as well. Buying or selling.
You know, that drop made me think, for buy or sell Tuesday, buy or sell, it's time for the Bucks to have a big halftime act like that again. I mean, I was there for Montel Jordan night in 2000.
Oh, yeah.
See, this is pre-Lara. So 2015 or 16. And I was there for the Ja Rule night. So those were two huge nights.
I'm shocked they didn't go back for another show after Ja Rule. Vanilla Ice played once or twice potentially at Bucks games, I believe.
Well, the Brewers have had post-game concerts. We know the Admirals do. Maybe it's time to bring old Ja back. You know what I mean? No.
After the Fire Festival thing, he was all hot, Ja Rule.
I guess we're selling that.
I think we can get somebody better than Ja Rule,
Well, they're
right?
already going to be at Tacos and Tequila Fest.
I was just going to say, it's probably contractually they can't do a Bucks game because Tacos and Tequila Fest is too close in the window in the area. They have probably a 200-mile radius that they can't perform in.
Well, and sadly can't be Nelly because he's going to be at State Fair, I saw.
That's right.
Nelly's everywhere.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be fun.
It's always fun. Nelly puts a great show on, but if you haven't seen Nelly, that's your own fault at this point.
There you go.
He's played State Fair, Summerfest multiple times. He's been at Tacos and Tequila.
He's also yoked.
I think he'll
heard,
take any check there is out there.
I heard he's going to do the next ribbon cutting at a Quick Trip.
He'll do it.
Somewhere in central Wisconsin.
In Oak Creek.
He'll play the parking lot at AutoZone. I mean, he'll do it.
That's my kind of guy, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Guy.
He's a performer. He doesn't care. He's a
Get
performer.
Get us your buy or sell props.
The performing version of Pete Rose. I mean, I'm seeing all of just like he'll be everywhere and anywhere that he can be. Pete Rose. Wait, Pete Rose is signing at a gas station? What are we doing here? Well, they opened up. They're now selling Baja Blast at this gas station. We brought Pete Rose in.
By the way, so would I. If anyone wanted me, I would do the same thing. I'm not.
1,000%. I would have been doing the same thing. I'd have been making any money possible. That's what I'm saying. That's what I appreciate it.
The hustler, yeah.
Pete Rose signed baseball, $5. A blank Major League Baseball, $10.
Yeah, that's right. They're worth less. That is the one thing when you said we were joking. Okay, we can do a little buy or sell. Was it the most one of the weirdest things to see after the most triumphant moment? The guys get a gold medal, U.S. hockey team, and they get the stuffed animal.
Good.
They get the stuffed animals.
That was unbelievable. Somebody did a story about why that was, but I didn't bother to click it.
No, and
TLDR or just not even click.
Well,
I would have also been selling that paywall because I imagine it was probably behind one.
Every Olympics has a logo and they have a mascot now, and they kind of get I remember the Athens Olympics. They were giving out the headpiece. Or they used to give out flowers with medals at older Olympics. And this one's the little stuff which actually is kind of my thought was this. they have kids they can give it to, obviously. Someone's going to want it. But more so than that, they're going to be collector's pieces one day they could sell.
I don't know that was exactly it. I thought, we could have sent this in a gift bag. Right, like we could have maybe sent the stuffed animal with like a nice picture of you at the Olympics. Hey, this is what we got you. Instead, Team Canada, by the way, hey, here's your silver medals. Wow. Hey, now hold this little beanie baby and see if it matches your kit of 5,000 that are in your grandma's attic right now.
Yeah. So like every bowl game, every trophy presentation now has to get a trinket. Like at the Pop-Tarts Bowl, do they hand you like a box of Pop-Tarts along with the
Now that would be good. I think they all just go and start just crushing the Pop-Tart.
The big one.
But that's a great idea. Like the Duke's Mayo Bowl, does everybody get a nice jar of 16 ounces of mayo to go home with?
Like you said, the gift bag.
Yeah. My other thing was it would have been more effective if they gave it along with the medaling. But the medals were already on. Then
that was the best part.
Like you did a whole separate line for this, and like every guy's like, I don't know what to do with this. I'm not just gonna. No one actually chucked it, which I thought someone was gonna chuck it.
I thought someone would hand it to a kid in the stands, like you do with a foul ball.
I think eventually they did, probably. But
all right, 877-794-1973. Buy or sell. This is the way it works. You throw out a topic and you ask whether it's buy or sell. Are you buying or selling the fact that? According to NFL Network, I guess, Malik Willis is the number one free agent on the market this year. Are you buying or selling that?
So I guess I'll buy it. I looked at the rest of the list, and I can't say that I was like super impressed. However, I guess I also shoot down a decent amount of free agent opportunities, generally speaking, because I think a lot of it is there's a reason why the guy is hitting the free agent market. For many teams, the reason why I'd be number one, Drew, is because that position just can't be matched in terms of value. If he becomes some team Sam Darnold, or on a little bit the Vikings version of Sam Darnold, where all of a sudden you're competing for playoff spots in a division, then yeah, he is. However, the numbers right now, I saw some people trying to say that he's going to reach like 40 million. I think 20 to 30 million will be in his range, but I also don't think that'll be the highest paid contract that ends up getting signed, because it seems like this Alec Pierce cat from Indianapolis is going to break the absolute bank. It's all about timing. It's all about when you hit the market. Pierce is going to hit the market when no wide receivers are available, and he's like the only deep threat that you could get. Malik Willis is like the only quarterback available, unless you want to go with Geno Smith, whose team actually traded him, then won the Super Bowl. He was so good, his team that traded for him earned the number one overall pick.
Yeah, speaking of collectibles, actually scarcity matters, right? Scarcity matters. Like, it is the most important position, and he's the one available. And I think the thing about Malik Willis is we're in an era now. You mentioned Sam Darnold. We're in an era where you've actually proven that a journeyman quarterback can take you to the promised land. Once upon a time, we just believed it had to be Brady, Rodgers, Breeze, one of these guys. And not anymore. I mean, that's just not the case. I mean, if you have the right defense, right team around them, right circumstances go your way, right league circumstances go your way, I think. So you mentioned receivers. I mean, George Pickens is out there, but that's a guy that a lot of people, would probably say, don't touch him, don't touch him. So I get it. I think it's interesting. And in a lot of ways, yeah, because of the position, I think he's the top guy available.
All right, so that's clearly a buy.
We're buying that one. Let's go.
What about you? Where do you buy him? Because Drew, he was one of our favorite topics on Packers OT this year.
No doubt, he's yeah.
Whether we asked for it or not, he was always a topic.
That is true. Charles and Arkdale would always hit us up and talk about that guy should be starting. Yeah, I think it is right, but it's all relative because it's not a very strong class of free agents.
Because it ends up being him or Daniel Jones. I think they have Jones listed as like 7 or 8 here. It seems like Jones is going to get franchise tagged, or they'd figure something out in Indy. But they're already talking about him making like $40 million again.
I know.
So it's like the position is so valuable, and somebody wants to take a shot at it, but I do also see like he is the perfect prime candidate to get Kirk Cousins, where all of a sudden you get big money contract. You're like, sweet, this is my opportunity. I've been waiting for this job. A few years ago, you'd call it getting Matt Flynn out in Seattle, where all of a sudden they draft a quarterback where they want you to play, but they definitely want that guy to be ready sooner rather than later because he's making a lot less, and then they can cut you, save some cash, and then go and try to win this thing.
Exactly. So that's the conundrum. So it seems to me that most of the the most ballyhooed and publicized transactions in the NFL, with some exceptions like Micah Parsons. The ones that work the best are the ones that go under the radar.
Yeah, a lot of the time. I mean, like Josh Jacobs was kind of under the radar for us a couple of years ago, right? Xavier McKinney was conversed about, but
okay, like the Rashid Shaheed trade or whatever. Like, it's like, big deal. And then, all
of a sudden he's one of the best players around. Yes.
And that really helped them win, games and when they needed to.
No doubt.
Well, and George Pickens was people's absolute favorite guy to talk about on somebody else's team that you wanted that kind of dog in your locker room. However, he just never actually did it when the lights really came on. And then all of a sudden now his biggest highlights were actually during the game and not after plays on the sideline. So it really does shift quickly.
The big transactions often fizzle, and then the little ones, like I'm old enough to remember when the Brewers grabbed the little outfielder at the end of camp, Niger Morgan.
That's
like right. Who? Some bat, lefty, speed, great. And he ended up being Tony Plush and a cultural phenomenon who will live forever in our memories as a guy who, he's always going to be on the Rolodex of speed dial for first pitch.
I was just going to say, he's going to throw more first pitches than Ryan Braun.
Talk about fan favorites. He's a franchise icon. There's no question for those reasons because of that 1 year.
It was not a very ballyhooed, acquisition.
Right. No.
There are a lot of, and this is where, the Packers are going to have two of the guys that are going to be higher up on the priority list for different positions. I mentioned Pierce from the Colts is probably going to end up being the number one wide receiver. I don't see Mike Evans going anywhere but Tampa Bay. I know he's still available and the kind of skeletal remains of his Hall of Fame self. Romeo Doubs is an interesting one too, Drew. I've seen his projections at like 12 or 13 million bucks. I don't think he's getting 12 or 13 million bucks from the Green Bay Packers. I think he could get more. I also think that's one of the dudes that ends up being like a value guy. And where you're talking, it's that second tier. It's the guys that have performed at times, but maybe haven't done it consistently enough. All Dobbs does is produce in the red zone, and he absolutely gets bit with the drop issues throughout the year. It'll absolutely creep up for a 2 or 3 week stretch, but he's played some of his best games in playoff games, and I think he's going to be a fascinating one. I'm also really excited. I'd say this on a buy or sell. The Super Bowl MVP curse will be on the Kenneth Walker signing, similar to a Larry Brown situation back in Super Bowl 30.
That's a pretty good crystal ball right there.
There's going to be a team that immediately says, did you not watch this guy just running away from everybody in the Super Bowl? That Patriot defense stopped every running attack that they played going into the playoffs, and all of a sudden this dude's racking up 120. We need to bring him in. Yeah. We need some shock value. We need to sell some tickets. We need to sell some jerseys. And then all of a sudden you realize, wait, we just spent a lot of money on a running back that was potentially not the best running back on his own team.
And a lot of times it's a high-profile owner that's a prisoner of the moment that really wants to win, that says, I know what's best, and this was what wins, because clearly it's the most recent thing I saw.
He's a Super Bowl player.
He's a Super Bowl player. This is the type of guys we need. Next thing you know, it's like 2 years later, we're talking about the big contract they're hamstrung with, right, because of the time they signed him. So,
and now Nick Foles is a little bit unfair because my man did get his collarbone snapped in half, I think, in his first game with the new team. But he got nearly $100 million after a Super Bowl MVP performance, and started, I think, more games for the Bears than he did the Jags.
Dan in West Bend has one for us. Buying or selling? He says, are you buying? He's buying Andrew Vaughn for 30 home runs this year. Buying or selling?
Ooh, that swing looked good yesterday with clubbing one out of there at Peoria.
That's a big threshold, though.
It is,
and you have to get a lot of playing time.
Got to be healthy.
Playing time.
Yeah,
I'm gonna sell that. I hate to say it. I'm gonna sell it. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm gonna sell that one.
It's one of the things that makes the Brewers successful, and it's one of the it's the silver lining in not being able to afford a lot of free agents. If you're the Brewers, is that if you spend a lot of money on a first baseman and he sucks like a shop vac, you stick with him and you ride it out because of the sunk cost.
The old Jeffrey Hammond's deal, right?
Yeah, it's like the sunk cost. We got to keep running. We got to get our money out.
We got to try it again.
We got to try to. If you have like a little investment, and like the only thing we have invested in this guy is what he makes in Aaron Savale. Okay,
sounds good. Let's try it.
And if he flames out, put some next.
Yeah,
you can kind of, and that's what the Brewers do with these young players. Is like, in some ways, that gives them, it makes them more nimble. And they have options because they have a lot of talented players in the system. So that's kind of like, Andrew Vaughn, it's like, it'd be great if he hits 30 home runs. Is the season a disaster if he doesn't? Not necessarily. No.
Just
right?
just like I thought it would have been sweet if Vinny Capra hit 20 home runs and started for you all last year. I think he played 12 games.
And that's the thing. The Brewers, they when they break camp, they'll have a different roster and different contributors than they do at the All-Star break, because that's the way they roll, because they're nimble like that. Like, and attrition and injuries and like Garrett Mitchell, whoever, like, if Garrett Mitchell plays the way that we think he can and stays on the field, and you don't know what's the ceiling for that guy. We haven't seen it yet. We've seen glimpses, right? But if he doesn't, then, well, stick Churio out there and we'll figure it out.
That was one of the things we talked about last week when you were out, Drew, is what happens in center field. Hunter had a good take on Joey Ortiz in the same vantage point, right? Like, is it great if Joey Ortiz ends up still being your starting shortstop in 2027? Yeah, it means that he actually hits for you this year.
It means he's playing good,
and plays well and can hold off some of those guys in the minors. But if he doesn't, by July, you're probably going to try to go and find something and give it another shot to somebody else.
When are the kids ready?
The third base spot is one of those. And center field is fascinating to me because Garrett Mitchell, it feels like they would be incentivized to give every opportunity again to try to figure it out. But then he's talking last week. He's like, yeah, I really probably got to change a little bit of the way I play. Maybe I do have to make a couple of concessions on what fly balls I'm diving for and how I'm sliding headfirst. And so there's so much that's going on in their mind at that spot, but they seemingly do have two options at every single spot. Center field, though, might be one of my favorite things to watch all year long.
That's going to be
field and
very
third base are
interesting.
the holes in the offense right now.
Yeah.
And you just and it's uncertain, and everybody's a little bit uncertain. What do you pencil in? Like, is Joey Ortiz bouncing back? Some guys have a baseline. You know what you're going to expect from Contreras, right? He's your best WAR guy, probably.
You sure hope that Bryce Terang's second half last year is the player that he is now kind of unlocked, because that would be a different. You want to talk about somebody for 30 home runs? That would be a crazy number to be able to hit at a second base spot.
He's gotten better,
but
every
the
year.
pace that he was ripping them last year, I would not be surprised if he's nearing 25 throughout the season.
Bryce Terang's gotten better with his offense every year. He's been in the big leagues, especially the power numbers. That trend continues. Watch out. Absolutely. I got a buy or sell for you guys that I saw yesterday. I thought was interesting. ABS is not going to be the utopian god we all think it will be when it comes to balls and strikes. It's super long cut, so I'm not going to play it, but Sal was on foul territory.
Yeah.
And he said several players under the impression that their ABS zone measurements are not being applied correctly to crouch batting stances. And he said, if you're a guy who likes to get low in a stance, they take the frame from when you get in the box standing upright. So therefore, when you get crouched and get low during the actual at-bat, you're going to be penalized and have a higher zone. Are we going to be complaining about this in the middle of the year, ABS? Screwing our short Brewers. Does that make sense? Well, you get my point. We got some short guys.
Nah.
All right, I didn't think it was.
I just like that you throw in there and screw it. Our short Brewers.
Well, Caleb's gone, but we have a lot of short guys.
Short Kings. Jet Williams.
I mean, Christian Yelich, I would think, would be the one that's getting hosed more. My man's 6'6", and he might be getting crouched down more than anybody.
Well, I think the idea is that
I see him bending the knee every single time.
He stays somewhat upright in his stance. I think it's because they walk in straight, and unless they walk in like a troll and into the frame, I think it's the way the frame.
So what you're saying is you should walk in like you're in like the 2010s, kind of like you're trying to keep your pants from sagging down. A little bit of a like semi squat the whole time.
Well,
I see what you're talking.
You should crawl into the box so the frame doesn't know what to do. We have to manipulate the system. No, I don't know.
Billy, before the Department of Corrections, Yelich isn't 6'6". He's like 6'2", 6'3".
Oh, okay, sorry. But he's definitely one of the tall. He looks about 6'9" on the team compared to these guys.
As our buddy KB would say, he looks striking in those pinstripes.
Yes, looks long.
He looks long, but he's only like 6'2", 6'3".
I just don't know if everyone thinks ABS is going to be great, just like replay. Now we're going to be sitting here complaining about it midseason. That's
that'll be compliance. Yeah. I got another buy or sell for you on the way out here. The buy or sell Badgers have 4 regular season games left. They're on the West Coast trip right now, playing tomorrow, late game at Oregon. And then a Washington game on Saturday in the afternoon, Maryland at home, and then at Purdue. Buying or selling that, the Badgers will have one of those clunker, awful, oh my God, burn the tape games in the last 4. And that might not be the worst thing given the timing.
Yeah, it feels like one of the next 3 is the possibility with the eyes going towards not just March, but the Purdue game.
And that's totally fine. You could have a schedule loss right now for the Badgers, I think.
Yeah, the fact that they won this weekend, holding off Iowa set them up where
Even after
He's
the
on
Ohio
do or
State
die.
clunker, like you already had one clunker, you can have another one.
Yeah, I think you
Ohio
can.
State is a bubble team though, so that's not that harmful.
No.
Sure.
You know, and there's so right now that I think bracketology has the Badgers at a 7. That's where they are in the bracket matrix, a low 7. So I'm not sitting there
Where's
saying
Marquette at?
they're not on it. Okay, Marquette's way off. All
Well,
right,
I thought they had don't they have a CBI
they're on the
bracket
CBI.
matrix?
They're on the bubble for the CBI. Maybe they're not in the bubble for the. It's been rough. I think they're
getting close to out of the basement though. They almost got out of the basement.
Yeah, well, they have Georgetown tonight, so maybe they can get a win and get out of the basement. But they're down there, man. When it comes to the Ken Palm, I don't even know where they are.
Just
these
breaking
days.
the heart.
When we come back,
That wasn't
halftime
necessary.
halftime has arrived, and our halftime correspondent Scott Dolphin from the country station down the hall will be sliding in. We'll throw some buy or sell props at Scott Dolphin. That's next. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you on the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. This portion of the program brought to you by, I'll give it the Game Day Men's Health today.
Let's go.
I'll be visiting there tomorrow. See my friends Abby and Patty at the Brookfield Clinic. Check out GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Fight that mental fog. Fight those man boobs. Fight being out of shape and feeling slovenly. Go ahead and go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Sign up for that free, no obligation, no cost, no nothing consult. Get a blood test and see if they can benefit you with their services. GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Sounds a lot better than a water fast. Yes. Sounds a lot better.
Scott Dolphin is here. And Dolph, here's the backstory. I'm playing naked today, which is an old baseball term for playing without amphetamines. You're playing naked? Really? A day game after a night game? When you hate your pitcher? What's going on?
Yeah, that's rough, man.
I have no caffeine, no food. I'm on a fast because I have to have lab work done this morning.
You know, I did it for years, Drew, with my cholesterol every 6 months, and I decided no more. I can't do it. I don't know how you do it. I was too weak to do it. I couldn't make it through the day and wait and go till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. None of that.
Yeah. No, nothing.
So I decided I did some research, and in my labs where I go, they have Saturday morning. Starting at 7:30. So I went, that's it. I'm done. No more weekday waiting, fasting. I can't do it.
That is perfect.
See, now that's the thing. So then that spun into, could we make it through a 72-hour water fast? Because that's supposed to be really good for your health and cancer prevention and reset and flush toxins and all that. And we were joking about this. Could we do this? Could we do it together as a brotherhood? Maybe raise money for Hunger Task Force. It'll be the Huddle's Hunger Strike for Hunger Task Force.
It's only water.
Yeah,
that's it.
Electrolytes. Yeah, coffee and broth.
You can do broth. I'm gonna be chugging broth because I don't know about you,
broth
but
is gross though. After a
I know,
while.
but I don't want to pass out. You know, I don't know.
You're not gonna.
You're not eating for 3 days. You know, and then it says also I read on the internet you're not supposed to do it if you have a demanding job. So I don't know if we.
You know, I might be able to do with broth and coffee. That's I remember the colonoscopy prep back in the day was that way. Where you just did the big gallon of lime Kool-Aid and you
you have to do that always.
That's always a good flush. That's probably better than doing a fast.
So I was as clear as a mountain stream after 24 hours.
I feel like you could go high jump.
Yeah. I was talking about feeling light.
I feel light. I could high jump.
I need some medical really to tell me there's a real benefit to it. Otherwise, I'm just torturing myself.
As usual, these ideas that we have will never execute. It'll never happen.
It really does.
But I'm already 12 hours in, so I could just keep it going. But there's a very good chance I'm going to hit a drive-through as soon as I get that.
The thing is, you're already almost halfway there. Depends on how you do the math, but you're almost already halfway.
That's dude math. I love that.
Not even halfway to being. I'm halfway to being a third of the way done.
Yes, which is almost halfway.
Because today's almost done, and
and like you're gonna sleep at some point here today, so that's gonna sleep.
So it's really a half a day.
All right, let's. Dolph, it's buy or sell Tuesday on the program, so I'm gonna hit you with my buy or sell theory. The one of my immutable laws of sports and baseball and spring training is. The best record you can have in spring training is anywhere within a game or two of 500, and anything else is folly. And the Brewers are now 0-4 in spring training. No need for panic. Bunch of guys you never heard of giving up runs in out of the back of the bullpen yesterday. They lose.
Damn, if that would have happened in May, though, we'd all be hard.
We'd be chirping about it all day.
Was it last year when they started? Was it last year, the year before they started 0-4?
Last year,
last year in the regular season, they went 0-4, had a record run differential.
We went crazy.
We were panicking.
The Yankees series.
They got slaughtered.
And then we came home and it was Alvin and the Chipmunks. We lost by 100 on opening day.
They got slaughtered. But the thing is, if you go 25-5 in spring training, everybody thinks let's order the rings, plan the parade.
Right.
If you go 5-25, everybody needs to be fired. This sucks and the season's lost already, and none of it matters. So just be as close as you can to 500. Win one, lose one, one, lose one, and then it's even keel, and no one is forced to think about the record, which is meaningless.
Yeah, and even if they go 8-16, whatever is
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because the slates are wiped clean, and I would hope fans by now would still have that eternal optimism come opening day for the Brewers, even if they do go 8-16 or 5-25, whatever they
definitely will. When they're in the uniforms, you still want to not see them give up 6 runs in the 8th inning. But it was that moment where I kind of laughed, Drew, and I'm like, this is awesome to not be worried about this and not let anybody be worried about it. I did think of my old friend Franchise was worried. I could already tell he was stressed. But you're never not going to for certain fans. yesterday, the more concerning thing was whatever we heard from Brandon Woodruff talking about that opening day wasn't still the benchmark for him to be ready. Like that was the surprising one. It felt like to me.
He feels good, but he's easing into it.
Yeah,
he might not be ramped up enough for opening day. Which is
opening day's never been my benchmark. And I'm like, I feel like that would have been a good one.
Do you hand the ball to Miz then? Because he's shown he's got some pretty big huevos.
Yeah, and he said during spring training that he's up for the task now. It's a completely different season when you go from year 1 to year 2. So I would trust the Miz on opening day.
I would love that. Rip a pack of cards and then get him out there and start.
Also known as Daddy Longlegs. I love.
I like that.
Have you guys heard that?
Daddy, is that Murphism?
That was a Murphism. He was asked by AJ whether or not. I know I have it here somewhere. Sorry.
Now watch out. There's a word that's going to get you in some trouble there. He mentions.
I edited it.
Oh, okay.
I did my due diligence.
I just wanted to make sure that we did
Armen
on this one. Let's go.
Which is, what can you believe that? Yeah, he was asked about this from.
Are you a veteran now on this team?
Oh no.
When you walk in, does Murph treat you differently?
No, he still treats me the same.
Does he?
Still gives me about everything. So.
Yeah, but if Murph didn't give you, then you wouldn't know he liked you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's his love language. So,
Yeah, Murph walks by you and doesn't speak, and you know you're in trouble.
Yes, this is very true.
What's his nickname for you?
It's Forrest Gump. That's a good one. It's also like Daddy Longlegs. He's been calling me that for a while. It's just anything to do with like long-legged, creatures.
Where does the Forrest Gump reference come from?
I mean,
because maybe he's got that kind of doofy appearance.
I was going to say just because he just goofily is happy about everything.
Running.
Right? And he really was learning a lot. It was just all of a sudden he ends up at the All-Star game, 5 games into his major league career.
Yeah.
Oh wait, now you're pitching against Clayton Kershaw in a start. Wow, congratulations.
Forrest Gump was returning kicks for Alabama.
All of a sudden he's on the sold out marquee, and MLB TV is like breaking in on their daily programming to have him and Skeens pitch against each other. It's like, I guess this is fun. I guess I'm good at this. This is just showing up. This works.
I like that. But yeah, yesterday, rough day for Bjorn Johnson, 1/3 of an inning, 5 earned. Yeah. Young kid, 21 years old.
Yeah.
Don't know much about him.
Yeah. I love that. Because again, spring training, like you'll see a guy come out and you're like, oh, he's an all-star. And he just, didn't get anybody out in his inning. They're like, oh, he was throwing nothing but changeups today. It was changeup day. So he threw every pitch he threw was a changeup. He was working on his changeup and they lathered him.
No,
that's the kind of stuff that you see going on. And but the flip side of that is like John Greenberg, our buddy El Jefe from the Admirals, when he was with the Brewers, PR guy, his pitchers are getting shelled. Hardicourt and I are letting him have it. He's like, they're working on things. And Hardicourt and I are like, yeah, backing up third. You're getting a lot of practice today.
Getting a lot of cardio over there.
A lot of cardio for your pitchers. Backing up bases.
Awesome. Getting practice with a whiplash.
This is good inside stuff, Drew. Yeah, so it's change-up day. I didn't even think of it.
Day. Well, it's like I threw a 80% change, or I wanted to throw pitches in situations where I would not usually throw them. In counts, I wouldn't throw them, and that's what they.
And if you're throwing 80% changeup, chances are the other team's going to know you're coming with a changeup.
And
got a good guess.
You have to be at a certain level of comfort with your status on the team and in the pantheon of the big leagues to allow that. And it has to, obviously, it's in coordination with the pitching coach, and the management knows what you're doing if you do stuff like that. But if you're struggling to make the team and you're like hanging on by your fingernails and don't want to, you're out of options. And
I was throwing curveballs, Skip.
Yeah,
right.
Then you might not be. It's funny. You can tell like guys go into it with different mindsets. Veteran guys have a bad outing. I felt good. I'm healthy. That's all that matters. None of this. But the guys who are struggling and trying on the bubble of the roster or trying to stay in the organization, they take it a little harder. So.
As a fan, what is your goal when you go to spring training? Maybe just catch a game, have some beers, maybe hit the
summer
golf
shandy,
course.
Enjoy. I try to get laps in like during the down parts of the game.
Walk through the.
If you can walk around the concourse, like if you can walk around the concourse.
Baseball's probably the 6th or 7th most important thing you're actually going to do when you're out there. You're out there for the weather for the most part.
Yeah, but baseball, those are highlights. And now
they really are. Yeah.
Now the level of investment, because the prices are practically regular season prices. Like
that's the problem.
Go find some $60 Brewers.
Brewers Giants game was literally $60 to get in on a Sunday,
really?
And like for the lawn at Scottsdale Stadium.
I have just no desire to do that. Maybe it's just at the point in my life. I never want to go to a preseason football game ever again. too. It's practice. I just have no interest in it.
No, and Dolph, the real one is, and the way that I would urge it, and the opportunities that we got to go out there. Obviously, it's different going into the clubhouse and being there early enough. That'd be earlier than I would be getting there. But actually, if you're there earlier, like 7:30, man, this is the best opportunity for players and kids to be able to see their players. They're walking in, everybody's relaxed. I mean, granted, it's 7 a.m, so there's some guys, still waking up while they're sipping their Starbucks walking in. But generally speaking, the guys are as open and conversationable.
So if you're there with the family,
when you're there with the kids, you're going to be able to meet some players. No doubt.
Bar none. Okay, that makes a lot of sense to me.
The access is way better. Now, my son did ask when we were talking about going out to spring training was, do they ride bikes? I was like, buddy, they don't ride bikes.
Oh, yeah.
They don't ride bikes. He was a little heartbroken by that. But I was like, I think it'll actually be better that you don't have to just get a quick little high five from somebody driving by on the bike and Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. It remains my favorite spring training moment. We still talk about it, was the Ken Griffey Jr. exit. Brewers are playing the Mariners at Peoria because no way was he coming to Maryville.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Peak of his powers, Jr. was not going to visit. He didn't play many road games.
Played home games, yes.
But he had one of those games early where he gets like 2 at-bats and he's done. And he facing the Brewers and he rolls over, ground ball, second base, and he's jogging down the line and he hits first base and keeps going and keeps going. It's the 3rd out of the inning and he keeps going and he jogs out the tunnel.
Into the clubhouse.
Just kept going. It just kept going in the clubhouse. And fans were like, Junior, can I get an autograph? He just kept going and he was done. And then then came the snarky Mariners PR guy. I think it was Tim Hevley. He's like, attention media, Ken Griffey Jr. is done for the day and will be available in the clubhouse in 15 minutes. It was like, gee, you don't say.
I didn't realize that was what that meant.
Such a baller move.
Oh, my God,
I'm done
that's
for the
funny.
day. He was probably on his way to the golf course.
Well, if that exists on YouTube, I'd love to see that. That's hilarious.
One of my favorite moments from spring training, not the alarm going off at Scottsdale Stadium through the Cubs and Giants game a couple of days ago. It was Randy Arozarena forgot his jersey. Apparently just grabbed the wrong one, so he had a bet. They were literally scotch taping and putting masking tape on the back of the jersey to put his name.
Oh my goodness!
Because he didn't have the right number, and people like
Clubby's in charge of that in 2026.
But
that's a common prank, though. A lot of times they'll switch guys' jerseys,
switch something out, and all of a sudden he shows up and
I remember
got my jersey.
I remember Zach Greinke on a night he wasn't supposed to pitch, but he pinch hit, wore the Bierbauer jersey that wasn't worn yet. Like he had the wrong jersey on under. It was the same color as the Brewers alternate, and it looked like the Brewers font, but it was the Bierbauer one. And it was under his jacket because he was just going to wear a jacket in the bullpen all game or
That's
dugout.
Hilarious.
But he had to bat, and it was a big deal. Do you remember that, Drew? I don't know if you remember that. Yeah, it was a big deal. It was a big funny thing.
That gives me a great thought. I'm to talk about buy or sell. We need to be buying more players running with the jacket on. I know that's an old pitcher thing. Can we get some position players out there jogging with that?
You don't see guys running the outfield anymore
because pitchers don't hit.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
that was one of the best things. All of a sudden, hey man, give me my jacket. I'm cold over here.
You guys
it's 38 degrees out here. Somebody get me this jacket over here. Yeah. I'd like William Contreras to say, "Excuse me, I'm catching." I would like to say. I would like to
flashing back to watching the Cubs on WGN and Rick Russell's at second base with this big jacket on, with his starter jacket.
Yeah, you got to get the jacket out there to the pitcher on base.
Yeah,
and the guys running the outfield before the game.
Boy, talking about wind is blowing today.
No, the pitchers do their own. The conditioning has changed. But watching pitchers run with foul poles and stuff.
Great!
Fun.
Rick Russell.
Well, don't worry, they all were.
They're running like during the game. Like people might not. That was part of the charm of spring training. Was outfielders were getting their run, and pitchers were getting their running in. Like during the game.
So it was like me on the bench in high school baseball. They're like, hey, you guys haven't done anything in 3 innings. Why don't you go run a foul pole? Yeah, sweet. Okay. So
I remember day after I'm working in the fan zone at Miller Park a day after a game. At that time it was Miller Park. And we're opening the store, and here comes Dave Bush running the concourse. It was the most exciting thing that happened.
I bet.
I'm like, that was Dave Bush, guys. He just ran by. That was Dave Bush doing a jog.
Did he stop in and check on his jersey sales?
Doing work. He was just doing work out there. Yeah.
Talking about uniforms, I wasn't in Milwaukee. It was years before I was here, but I heard the story about, was it the Royals? They lost their uniforms.
Yeah,
they had to wear Brewers uniforms. So it was Brewers versus Brewers.
That is so good.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that happened. They wore the Brewers powder blues. I think
If that happened in 2020, that would never happen now. I don't think it could.
No.
But it just,
Hey, Tom Brady's Super Bowl jersey got stolen. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right after Von Miller's helmet got stolen the
You
year
never
before.
say never. You never say never. What else is happening, Dolph? Anything?
Well, Giannis already ruled out again tonight. He said he feels 100%, but I don't know when we're going to see him. I would assume it would be soon, right?
I would think.
He said he's out for another 6 weeks after the kid broke his hand on the high five.
Oh,
yeah.
Mason
that was awesome.
Beat cancer.
Love that.
Yeah, I'm done now.
That kid looked like he was in seventh heaven.
That was so good.
Armen's Golden Eagles on the road tonight at Georgetown. They're trying to get out of the basement. They're only a game out, Armen, of Georgetown and Providence, just one game back of, what would that be, 9th place?
this is not something to achieve.
Come on.
I guess that would be.
Hey,
let's get it going.
You got to wake up. The tourney is what, 2 weeks from today?
What tourney? Oh, the Big East tourney.
The Big East tourney.
Yeah,
Chance to go and win it and get in.
You're saying there's a chance.
I don't think let's get ready for the tourney is what Marquette fans are thinking. But you're right. This is our one chance. If Marquette won out somehow weirdly and got to the tournament, what would they be? A 13 seed, 12? Maybe,
they'd definitely be in the play-in game.
Mississippi State, Georgetown did it once.
Would you go to Dayton if they were in the first four?
Oh, maybe.
They earned this win.
That would be one of the most unexpected.
And they earned that
bids.
trip.
Yeah,
you should go and follow them.
Maybe
right.
That would be amazing. They have shown
Armen's
growth.
not doing it.
I like his chances of doing a 72-hour fast more than
Yes.
going to
Absolutely.
I'm with you on
I
that
like
one.
that more. And
100%.
he was nervous about it. Dolph, thank you for
All right,
coming in at halftime. Always good to see you. Puts wind in our sails as we move forward. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you on the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 in Madison. Just watching a little replay of a Jet Williams hit.
That was a sweet one. Rip that son of a gun.
Yeah, listen, I hope he's good just because it'll be cool to have a great player named Jet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I immediately got the question. So is he fast? Yeah, he's pretty fast.
Jet Bandy was a catcher.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, and a big son of a gun, too. Big son of a gun.
Jet Bandy, Jet Williams, great name. You know, hopefully you got to be fast if you're Jet.
Yeah, and hopefully, I mean, Jet Bandy was a nice player, really, really nice guy. And maybe, hopefully, we get a little bit more pop out of Jet Williams. I'm interested though to see who ends up cracking this lineup. That was a fun one to be able to see yesterday. I know the buy or sell question on Andrew Vaughn is interesting if he's the power bat that he was last year. But also, Drew, I think I'm almost more excited to see who's the Andrew Vaughn of this season for the Brewers. Right? Who do they end up grabbing in the middle of the year that ends up being the guy that they have to rush deliver a T-shirt for because people have fallen in love with?
And then, and Quinn Priester was a midseason pick.
Absolutely.
As well.
Yeah.
You know?
Even though Dave Gasper is sitting over here just poo-pooing the entire thing and just unbelievable.
Oh, that's a freezing cold take.
Apoplectic, we lost Yoferi Rodriguez.
What are they thinking up there? You have Yoferi Rodriguez and you're trading him for Quinn Priester, who's done nothing?
Oh, that was so good.
You have Yoferi Rodriguez.
I'm going to drop Seinfeld on Armen. Ken Phelps, my baseball
Ken
people
Phelps,
told
my
me.
baseball, like Ken Phelps bat. Ken Phelps bat. That was a great episode.
That was the Jay. How could you trade Jay Buhner? So, yeah, and the funny thing is that Ken Phelps, for a long time, was like a Brewers minor league hitting instructor. And Hod and I'd be walking from the main complex over across the way because they worked out on the minor league fields, the multi-fields.
Oh, sure.
And we'd be walking, and then we'd be behind Ken Phelps, and Hod would be like, my baseball people told me I'd have Ken Phelps. Ken Phelps. We just chuckle, laugh every time.
Gosh, that's amazing.
Every time we saw the guy. He was also one of those guys who had he had a pretty big, probably a 7 3/4 hat.
Big dome.
Kevin Mensch, Duffy Dyer. Yeah, Kevin Mensch.
I love that we're getting Kevin Mensch references here on this on this Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I think yesterday we got one too, didn't we?
Yeah.
Kevin Mensch, the Brewers are this welcoming clubhouse and have the good culture and stuff. He was a capital T turd. He was a turd. He was I don't know why.
Was that the Carlos Lee trade with the Rangers?
Might have been, yeah.
Or one of the trades that they sent to the Rangers.
Yeah, he came from Texas, but
they got Coco Cordero back.
Yes,
who was awesome. One of my favorite guys.
Yeah, Kevin Mensch was just a turd. He hated media. He just was he wasn't a great player by any stretch.
Not at all. And also, my cousin did the junior PA the one time, and Kevin Mensch was one of the 3 players that she announced, and she called him Kevin March. And learning more about Kevin Mensch later into my
almost better.
I was very happy that she dropped a Kevin March on him.
The whole team can call him Kevin March.
And everybody could cloud him a little bit there.
Really quick, because I know Billy's got a hero here. Brewers got Mensch, Lance Nix, Cordero, and Julian Cordero.
Lance Nix.
And they gave away Lee and Nelson Cruz.
Lance, any relation to Bo?
Don't know, but I'll look it up
short.
here, Billy.
He was a short outfielder.
Dang, that would have been awesome.
Not a great player. Not a hero by any stretch.
Not a hero. No doubt about it. Current Electric Superhero of the Day, brought to you by Current Electric. If you are in need of electrical services, because we all are at some particular point in time, trust the superheroes. Trust Current Electric. They want to earn your business, not just have you call them when you're in need. They want to earn your trust and earn your business. Call current.com. That's callcurrent.com. Guys, this one yesterday was really, really awesome and really impactful to be able to see. A Road at Night showing at the Marcus Majestic Cinema in Brookfield over here. I went yesterday. There's 4 showings here today, starting up in Brookfield at 1 o'clock. It runs through the weekend here in Brookfield at the Marcus Majestic Theater. The hero in this story, now, obviously, what John Roach and his team did to be able to tell the story of the Moore family and the trials that they went through. Guys, if there is any human being stronger with a more willpower than Jarrell Moore, I would like to meet him.
Ooh.
I mean, I have not been more inspired by a young man than hearing the words being spoken about Jarrell in the moments after the tragedy happened, how he came in the midst, how he saved his father basically in the midst of their accident. It is in 75 minutes of pure emotion.
Amazing.
And it is an incredible, incredible piece of art. I would urge anybody to go and see it. And Jarrell Moore is the best and the hero walking amongst us. And I'm really, really proud that he's going to always have that W on his chest.
Fantastic. That's outstanding. We are, we're rolling. I'm not even hungry anymore. I've already passed that stage.
We filled that appetite.
Pretty much.
One more to go, though.
Stick around. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras.
Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, be alert for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 jet. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here, and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to board down to. Let's go out and kick some tape. All right? One, two, three.
Keep doing what you're doing. You got to sit our guys after and make the play.
Be right all the way outside. Wide left. Fake 396 bag. D hand. C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmidt,
Oh my God, this man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Rolling through a Tuesday in the good land. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere in the iHeart app. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. We want our people to be civil to each other out there in these YouTube comment streets.
Sure.
Well, yeah,
They're not necessarily
civil, but
always
they're
fun.
fighting. They're civil, but they're fighting, I would say. But it's a civil fight. It's like a sanctioned boxing match. But we are getting some of that on the YouTube comments. If you're involved, by the way, you can listen to us obviously at 920 and 1070 in Madison. But you can also stream the video on YouTube, Twitter, and X. Or I'm sorry, Facebook, YouTube, and X.
There you go.
And also Twitter.
All right.
Then
Come on,
a lot
hot
of people,
start.
a lot of people are doing hot start. A lot of people are doing, and they get involved in the comments, involved in the little community that we have. That's always talking in the comments.
So what are they getting into in the comments here? Let's fill in the audience that's waking up here and listening to us on those two terrestrial stations that you mentioned.
Yeah, good point, Billy. I'm glad you got me there. They're arguing about the outfield situation for the Brewers. Now, we were mentioning this a little bit. It's buy or sell Tuesday, and it starts with Dobler saying there's no way, ain't no way, he said, Boss Dobler. Mitchell breaks training on Brewers roster. Either shines this spring, is traded away, or fails and sent to AAA. Then we have Matthew. Besides, hey, Boss Dobler, besides Yelich, who do the Brewers have that's better than Mitchell in the outfield? Boss Dobler, Perkins or Lockridge?
Not self-freely.
He said, I shouldn't have said that better, but who deserves to be ahead of him besides Yelich and Churio? Boss Dobler. Mitchell is a fragile glass cannon. Everybody knows it. Time to let some desperate team who has a misfortunate outfield injury get him and put a fork in this Mitchell experiment in Milwaukee. So they're going on it about Garrett Mitchell, which it can be a hot button topic sometimes.
Well, and Drew, especially as we joked about in the last hour about spring training results. Now, definitely the game results that don't necessarily matter. However, the player results are kind of nice, and to see who's rolling. Now, you hope it's not a Brad Nelson situation where the guy can't stop clubbing doubles and home runs and then comes up here and can't hit himself out of a paper bag for 20 at bats and gets sent down. But we were talking about Blake Perkins and Garrett Mitchell being in the midst there. And then two bombs from Brandon Lockridge, where I was unfamiliar with your power game, Brandon Lockridge, going in here. That's another dude that could factor in there. I do think the AAA part could be a part of the equation for Mitchell, but I don't necessarily know that would mean that they'd be completely punting on him, right? I think he's got an option left. Yeah. And for somebody that hasn't played that much, I don't know that would be the worst situation.
Could be in the cards, yeah. Breckenridge, Lockridge is the guy they like, who's kind of like
their style of dude.
He's like a Garrett Mitchell type,
100%. Right? Yes. Just insanely muscle bound and as fast as all get out. And also, too, you're going to have to take Blake Perkins off the field. And I know Murph does not like necessarily taking Blake Perkins off of the field. He's got his guys. We played the Mizorowski tape. I know there were a lot of players that spoke with the foul territory guys at Brewers camp yesterday. But there's certain players that he has an affinity for, and Blake Perkins is one of them for the way he plays the game. And got a little bit of a clutch factor to him as well. That center field spot is a fascinating position for the Crew. As much as we talked about third base because it's the one they subtracted completely for, well, the one that you have the most options at might be the one that gives us the most conversation throughout the year.
That's very true. Very true.
Yeah.
And for a team that won 97 games to come back like that, there aren't a lot of positional questions and stuff. They can, they're running it back. Did you see that they're picked to win 85, 86, 87 games somewhere? The Pacotas.
Yeah, which is an improvement over last year, right?
Well, Fangraphs had them, I think, almost damn near under 500 for their projection of it.
So they're just brutal. We'll give you guys 4 more wins. I'm still taking the over on that. I like the Brewers at least at 88, but that's, there's a lot that we don't know what will happen. A lot we can't prognosticate.
No question.
But it also,
on paper, the Cubs are better, but on the field, the Brewers beat them.
Yeah. And Drew, I think the other fun part in baseball is so much fun with numbers and projections and prognostications. But then still, when certain places got to put their money where their mouth is, the Potawatomi Sportsbook still has the Brewers as a minus 170 favorite to make the playoffs, right? And believing that you are going to win about 86, 87 games, which is going to be closer to that realm. Now, maybe they don't find a third 10-game win streak in there or a double-digit win streak like they did a year ago. But it is hard to see them not being able to hit a run in the midst of the season, right? Where they do rattle off 18 and 5 in a run of 23 games through a month. Like they just done it too many times to not think that one's going to happen.
They've definitely shown that they can do that. Absolutely. Yeah. 877-794-1973. Buy or sell Tuesday with the boys here. All right. I guess, are you buying or selling that the Packers can rattle their sabers all they want, but there's really nothing they can do if people are going to sell their season tickets? I mean, they're threatening now. I have people in my family that had tickets for years, and they would sell them immediately.
Yeah.
Upon arrival.
I know people
flip them to brokers.
Yeah. And
they're trying to not do that. They're trying not to let people do that.
Well, I appreciate it because always, Billy, it always offended me as a Packer fan that they'd use their ticket as a commodity. But then it gets into the whole you shouldn't tell people what to do with their money.
My favorite thing is telling people what they should do with their money and resources, and judging how people utilize their
players
assets
and stuff.
But for this one, I think it's very interesting and close to home for some in the Milwaukee area, where families have groups of tickets, right? And if indeed the same person is using those tickets, but it's not the person that is committed to purchasing the large stake that they did, like I've said it a number of times, my uncle owned a bar in the West Dallas area and I think he damn near had 100 tickets to the Packers games when they were at County Stadium. Upwards of that when the games were there.
Yeah.
He's got close to 40 still of people that have committed. They buy two, and they do throughout the year. They have for 35, 40 years. They've paid all of the seat licensing for them, but they're technically not under that person's name. Will those tickets be thrown right back into the pool? And that's going to be a fascinating one if there is any conversation, or as the post said right there, we'll just take your tickets and not talk to you. We'll take your tickets and you're not going to even know about it. That's a hell of a statement to be able to say there by the team.
Craig Benzel quoted in the press release, "Our season ticket holders are central to Lambeau Field's significant home field advantage and game day experience. We continue to emphasize the purpose of having season tickets, which is to attend games and contribute to that atmosphere. Simply put, Packers season ticket holders who purchase their tickets with the sole intent of reselling them should not be Packers season ticket holders."
Yeah, and that could be
a bold strategy, because it's the cash is the cash.
The money's in. They're spending the money, and there's always the talk of all the people that would say, "Oh, I would love it. I would have them in a second. I would do it." And then when the cash and the money and the bill actually came, how many would actually put the money where their mouth is and do it every single year?
That is a good question. We never really hear about the people that put themselves on the list only to get a chance, then turn it down. I really don't know how many there are. That's a good question, Billy, and I appreciate you bringing that up.
Our buddy Sunburn Bowl 1 MVP Jason,
yes,
recently cracked through after the waiting list and he got tickets 2 years ago.
Yeah, and it's that was always a rite of passage for a lot of people in the state when you were a kid. It's I put my grandkids down on the list, and I put my kids down.
Moved the list up, and then their grandparents, and they get the tickets
for the dream to one day be at Lambeau Field, and the dream to one day sell them and try and make $100. I think that's the one thing that it's still distasteful to some people. And the Packers are doing what they can now. Is it only for the out-of-town situation? I know the way Pro Football Talk, I saw Florio framing this as they're trying to keep cheese graters out of Lambeau Field. And I don't know if that's totally fair, although I'm sure that's a byproduct of it. Yes, the Packers want Packer fans there, but they also just don't want their tickets to be resold as commodities all the time.
Yeah,
right?
I've said for years that Packers tickets are underpriced. And people think I'm crazy, but it's like, well, look, because
you're right. I mean,
you can buy them for double the face on the secondary market all the time. It tells you that the Packers could be charging more for season tickets.
Yeah, for a
with
long
150,000 people on the list. Now, people who hold those tickets and have had them, like your family and people who've had them for years. Yeah, it would suck. They would be squeezed out, but there's somebody waiting to give them the money.
There's somebody waiting to give them the money. And the interesting thing is, Drew, though, like as much as that had always been the case, how many times do we go when we're driving up an hour before the game or whenever we end up pulling into the lot? I always jump up on the secondary market and see what the lowest ticket is. And almost every single time you can get in right around face value. Right towards game time. So it's the ticket market and the experience of NFL games is a totally different conversation than it was 25 years ago.
Right. And the Packers will always have to fight the fact that Lambeau's the destination. It's a mecca. People watch it. It's romanticized. They want to see it. It's the cathedral. They gotta. And so there's a strong impulse for people to want to buy tickets one way or another.
Yeah.
So they create that demand on the secondary market.
And that's the part of it that I've always wondered, where it's we don't have the chance. I don't have the chance to buy them. Again, would you do it year in and year out? Because it is the thought of, you have them one time.
The thing.
And then the novelty then quickly wears off. And then all of a sudden you're like sitting here, whoa, I do have this charge that I'm going to have at 3,800. Okay, that's gonna be interesting for me to stomach. You know what? I could slice that in half if I don't go to 3 games here.
Yep.
I can't make the Bears game. I know I could sell that one for a lot. I know Cindy really wanted to go to the Lions one. And you start listing it off and trying to rationalize it because it is a huge investment at the end of the day.
And you write a check up front, I think, every year. And I had a buddy that.
Oh yeah.
He never said it, but I think he secretly resented his dad for putting him on the list because he inherited those tickets. And then he kind of felt the pressure to keep them all those years. And he had to write the check, and it was a lot of money. And he's like, here we go again. But the thing is, he finally took the plunge and sold them back to the Packers. He's like, all right, I'm done with this. I'm done with this. And my family hates me, so be it. Because he was trying to get rid of them every year because it was something he was gifted but didn't really want. It was, to him, it was a burden. And I guess there are people that feel that way about it, that never made the choice to go into it with the intention of doing it. And I do understand that a bit, but then there's that option just to sell them back to the Packers.
Yeah. But I think the part that Armen and I have always quibbled with this, because for Armen, it's an all or nothing thing. Yeah, it's you're either going to sell all of them, and that's ridiculous, or you need to go to every single game, and why on earth would you miss one? Well, life does happen, right? And there's a lot of things. And again, the part of it being your asset, I struggle telling people how to live their lives and what to do and how to go about their day and eating. But if it's, the 3 games that you're not going to be able to make, ultimately end up paying for a third of your tickets and allow you to go to the games, there's always concessions. And I always hate being the one to say, I'm going to tell you what to do with your asset.
You get north of a certain age, you have your desire to sit in cold weather games in December is greatly diminished.
Well, and the interesting,
some people just sell those right off the top.
Yeah. And I mean, also think about, you just mentioned it to certain, family and friends. There also could be, we always talk about Aunt Marge or, Uncle Tom that have tickets. Well, guess what? They've also now realized that they have 3 grandkids and 2 kids that would really, really love to go to the games. And that's also going to be their Christmas present. So now for the last 3 years, we've still had the tickets, but we're giving them to these 2 different groups.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden they're not the ones walking through the gate. I'm interested to see if that's one that gets flagged. Like, this is all right. Facial recognition. They know when the ticket gets sent because every single one of them is digitized. Maybe there is some context that gets brought into it, but it seems rather cut and dry that they're going to drop the hammer whenever they feel necessary.
It does. I just saw that the Lakers juiced their tickets. Did you see Worldwide Wob, Rob Perez?
Love that account.
Guy. Yeah, he posted Friday that his seats are going up 14%, and they're tacking on a 3% administrative fee if the invoice is not paid in full at the start. Because they used to let you pay in installments and not ding you.
That used to be a
You.
sale.
And another guy pointed out, and his seats are in the 300 level at Lakers games, not down by the celebrities. But he said the price in 2024-25 was $5,494 a seat. Then it went to $6,192, and next season they want to get 9,000.
Yeah. The
So
effort
it's a
will always
46% increase in 3 years.
The effort will always be to see how much they can separate, patrons from their money and how much. And then patrons will always try and find a way to circumvent that and try and find different ways to find value. That competition will always occur. That's just the way it is. But some of these ticket prices are getting high. We kind of made jokes throughout the Buck seasons recently about, the secondary market dropping when Giannis doesn't play, and that's part of it, because it is hard to, bring the family to games on the face value sometimes with the secondary market.
The sports teams, at least they're like doing this individually and they can have their policies and do their stuff. Like last week, Springsteen tickets went on sale for his tour, right? And you go online and you get the spinning wheel of death and you're trying to get tickets and
loading.
And then you get thrown into the queue and they went on sale for 5 minutes. Right. But how quickly they sell out because of bots and brokers and all that.
Bots,
and they try to do this. But then you go on and like, seats near the stage are available $1,700 a seat, Ticketmaster verified resale. So you're telling me someone bought these and is already trying to flip them, or are you just scalping your own ticket?
That's it.
Right.
That's what these greedy bastards are doing.
Yep. And that's the real the crux of a lot of the
they took
stuff.
a ticket that's like a $300 face value.
It's a
and they're
racket.
selling it to verified $1,700. The Cubs got caught doing that. They opened up a little ticket shop like a block from Wrigley,
right,
in a building that they owned, and they just started to sell tickets, and people would wander up, and they thought they were, it's like cool. I can buy these scarce. They were their own tickets that they were marking up.
Yep.
They got caught, and that's just the scuzziest thing you can do.
It really is. That's why I've always made the statement a lot of times when people talk about face value, and I'm like, in reality, there's really no such thing sometimes as face value anymore. Face value is whatever the secondary market is already priced at by that organization or by that ticket group.
Well, the Brewers have a little bit of way of trying to lock it in of like, that you're probably going to pay $20 for a bleacher seat. However, there is the dynamic pricing that all of a sudden 7 different series. And you're like, well, wait, almost half of the series, the series in the first 3 months are elevated up, and I'm paying damn near twice what I'm paying for these seats.
Yeah.
I think some musical artists have tried to push up against that, right?
They've tried. There's different ways.
Yeah.
Springsteen does that with his pit in front of the stage. You got to get there for the wristbands. Yeah.
So did we get some?
No, I haven't yet. I'm just like, tried, but
Where at?
I was on the beach. I want to go to Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he doing it at Soldier Field then, obviously?
No, United Center. He's going out in the spring, so he's doing arenas to start. And then, but I was like, I was on the beach. I didn't have a good Wi-Fi, but
you were
eventually
playing
gave up.
compromised, yeah.
Yeah, so I eventually gave up. But in some ways, again, going back to when I was in high school and shows would go, like you'd maybe skip school and be at Sears. Ticketmaster outlet or mainstream records and tapes. Like you'd go, hey, there's a Sears in Whitefish Bay and there's never anybody there. You go there and you're first in line and you get good seats, or wait at the box office to do it.
I think it was a
Boston store had a Ticketmaster outlet.
Yep. I think it was a Piggly Wiggly, if I'm not mistaken. I sat with my dad for a good 2 hours one day when they were trying to get Eagles tickets. I mean, like we were camped out waiting. We were inside, so we were all making sure. But he was not allowing my mom to miss that show because he would not have heard the end of my mom missing that show. That was one of the beauties of it, though, knowing that you were just going to camp out. And I know there's 4 people over here in front of me that are going to get these seats, but I'm going to get something unless all of a sudden when those online guys started coming in there. It was the early days of the online guys.
The 01 Eastern Conference Finals. This was a big undercurrent of the story, a big side story. When the Bucks beat the Hornets, a bunch of people started waiting out in the Bradley, formed a line at the ticket office of the Bradley Center box office, and people were already buying them online. So when technology was changing, there was this sort of bloody process with the new system where people that were in line always got tickets that way, thinking we're first in line, we get our first tickets. People were already buying them online. And they're like, well, what's that? That doesn't seem fair. But that was just, it was a brave new world of internet back then. Internet existed, but a brave new world of commerce on the internet, I should say.
If they went back to having to buy them at the actual venue of the box office, then you got people camping for a day or two in the Shesheskyville or whatever.
We did the winter warm-up at Miller Park, my grandpa and I in 2013.
Arctic tailgate.
Arctic tailgate. That's what it was. One of my favorite memories with my grandpa. And for the first chance we could get White Sox tickets, we go up there and they were sold out for Saturday night. And he couldn't understand it at all. I'm like, they've been buying them online, Grandpa.
Well, now you want to talk about the game that was coveted. opening day against the White Sox, your grandpa's head would have exploded. That would have been the most coveted ticket possible.
I'm just glad we got him for the Sunday game because we did get a chance to see it. So that's a good memory I have with him. But it is crazy that's what it is now. People would go inside.
Anytime there's a system like this, there's people working to game it. 'Cause
Always.
if you went back to those days, then the brokers started paying homeless people to stand in line and buy the tickets, and they give them $5 to go buy. So
it ain't sold out. It ain't sold out.
It
ain't sold out. I like there's always a time for somebody to be able to make a buck. I do yearn for the day though again where we get the Arctic tailgate. Now I also though if it means that we get Drew if it means we get the Arctic tailgate or Fan Fest, I'll take Fan Fest.
Yeah.
Right, I'll take Fan Fest. I'll take the Brewers winter warm up or something.
God.
But there always was something beautiful. Hey, a couple of weeks last week or 12 days ago, Brewers tickets went on sale. Single game tickets. Oh, we jumped on that bad boy. That is a fun moment though. Knowing that you're getting in there right away.
The old Fan Fest would have been. Oh, Carson's like just over the moon.
Dude, we went to Brookfield Square to go see Santa. But one of Santa's helpers was at Brookfield Square.
Yeah, that's how the system works.
Yeah. And all I could think of was when they brought the big rising table in over by the old clubhouse store. And that's where Brewers on Deck used to be.
Oh, yeah. Memories.
Very, very quickly turned into the Baird Center, and it was always good either way. I hope they can bring it back.
It was wild.
By the way, quick update. We do have Boss Dobler extending the olive branch here to Matthew. Looks like, if I'm reading this right, olive branch.
Oh, they're boys.
So now they're like, we'll see what's going on with this. Is this a peace offering? Are we making up, hey, Dobler, what's the olive branch for? He might block you. So we'll see how things go.
See how it goes. We'll see how
I think we're all making
I think
friends
we're making friends now on the text line, on the comment side. Yeah.
Peace has arrived on our shores, which is amazing. All right. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. We're huddled up. Drew, Billy, and Armen. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, iHeartRadio app everywhere. Taking your buy or sell propositions, 877-794-1973. Gets you to the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Hearing from some folks, like we were talking about the Packers ticket situation and their desire to keep Packers tickets in the hands of Packers fans. Is that a big ask? Like, you buy season tickets, they're your property. You can do what you want with them in theory, but Packers are trying to maintain some control. I get it. But some things that are out of control, not every team in professional sports has 150,000 people waiting to buy their season tickets. In fact, there are several Bucs fans who come into the end of a 3-year contract who are wondering whether they should renew. And some I've talked to might not.
I was going to say, I bet they're salivating at the opportunity to not have to renew. Would be that conversation,
and
especially if the price is the same.
And that's why it's just so fascinating, because the gymnastics that go into the Giannis calculus.
1,000%.
Because it's like, they can't afford to lose Giannis in so many ways. Now, okay, we've talked about it. We've talked about it for the last couple of years. Intellectually, you can absolutely see a way where the path forward, given Giannis's age, is to
his lengthy injury history,
and trade and move on. But then, what does it look like? What does life look like without him? And how crippling is that to lose a big chunk of revenue?
It's always easy, Drew, to look and see the end game of the process, but that inside the process part doesn't always feel the same, right? Go ask the 76ers how the process has worked, where they're still trying to dig out of the rubbish that was just losing and knowing you're going to lose for a significant amount of time. We're at the point where they're selling tickets on resale for like $3 or $4, and people are getting in for, they're getting a whole family worth of tickets, a row worth of tickets for how much it costs to park your car outside the arena.
That's right.
Like that is that's a real slippery slope that Bucs fans are going to have to deal. And I know the the new ownership had an edict and a plan to be like, we no longer want to be the team where people know I can show up to Wendy's, the ones that are still open, and just get Bucs tickets.
Great reference.
Right? Like you can show up somewhere and all of a sudden Bengal will drop off 100 tickets to the game. Yeah. They wanted that one to get away. But if you let Big Fella get away, I think you might be having to go to a couple more Wendy's stores.
Absolutely, that's the point. I mean, it's easy when that's the product, but when that's not the product, then what happens, right? And then if the price is the same, NBA tickets right now across the league are sort of it's a depreciable asset. Like when you think about buying season tickets, it's like, is this a good investment? Because the value of them is not looked up. The perception of the value is decreasing amongst them. So if you ask me, I would be like, well, if the price is the same or not less, why would I buy these season tickets at this point?
And that's the thing. I have been a season ticket holder in my life for 2 years, the first 2 years of then Miller Park.
Oh, great move.
Because while we're sitting in the old press box at County Stadium, Hardecourt and I, we asked our buddy Bob Voigt, battling Bob Voigt, the director of ticket sales, what's the best seat in the new ballpark for the money? He said, for the money, the best seat in the ballpark is the first row of the right field bleachers, right kind of by the bullpen there, like that little area.
That first level.
You're in it's section 100. It's like level 100.
I love that spot.
Those seats, a great one. We bought 4 of those seats. Hardecourt and I went because he's like, those are $8 a piece. Those seats in the first row of the bleachers. You're basically on top of the right fielder. You can see into the bullpens and stuff. Yep. They've kind of taken away some of that. They made that party area. Yep. Where our season tickets were initially. They made that party area. But for $8, so for $32 a game, we had those 4 seats for the first 2 seasons. Now, the first season, magical new ballpark. Everybody wanted to see it.
Everyone wanted to be there.
Second season was the All-Star game, right? So you had to. So that's kind of why we wanted to be able to buy tickets.
Wanted to have them, yeah.
And then it was another level for Hardecourt because he could bitch at Wendy and Bud and tell them that he was a season ticket holder complaining, not just a guy with a byline.
Hey, I'm in on this.
We're invested now. We're season ticket. It was so funny too because Wendy's like, I didn't think it'd get worse with you guys, but it did.
It ended up being worse now that your money's
He's
here.
like, we love your business, but we don't like the ramifications that now we can bitch a season. So I have been a season ticket holder.
That's funny.
But to Armen's point, if I got enough glue to sit where Jim Kazmarek does or David Gruber or the guys that are courtside and you want to see him be seen, if you're writing it off for business, it's different. But if I got enough glue to do that, is the juice worth the squeeze? for 41 nights. Do I want to invest to go to that many games, be there for the playoffs, which aren't a given this year?
Yeah.
And if I had that kind of glue, do I want to sit, like, if I want to go to a game, I can pop and save money, just go to that one game, even if it's the Lakers, even if it's a game 7,
That's the
I'll
thing.
pay the extra money and go to that game and sit in that seat rather than have it. I mean, there's something to be said for having it, and it's an asset. And if you have that kind of, I don't have that kind of income,
right,
where I could just, just ride it out.
If I go, it works. If not, it doesn't. Yeah,
or I'll give
100%.
give him my employee of the month or something.
Yeah, I'll give him away as a gift and things like that.
At the end, the second year when the Brewers, that was the year of the All-Star game, the Brewers lost like 106 games that year.
Good luck with the September games.
We were leaving games. I'd go to lunch and I would leave like tickets as a tip. Like, here you go.
Here you go. Here we got some tickets for you.
Hey, here's tickets to Saturday's Brewers game as extra. I still tip 20%.
Right. I like that even better though. Yeah, a little added value.
And we had a hard time even giving away. Like, and it wasn't a big investment. Like I said, $32 a game, big deal.
Right? No, but it's always the thought of, man, these guys are getting rich. And I remember one of my old bosses, him and a number of friends had the same deal, and they had in the terrace level, like one of the first rows of the actual terrace reserve. So it was technically the most inexpensive seat, but would have been the best for the money that way. And it was like $6 or $8 a game for that. And that's how you would buy them through the week. And they had it all spreadsheeted out and all that. Like, I don't know how many of those individuals there are anymore. I do believe the majority of it is, you know what? We can't go anymore, right? We still have them. Yeah. We're still putting the money out. And if, Cindy, who we usually give them out to for Christmas, or my son goes to one of the cold games, like Jenny in Appleton said, I have gold package tickets since they stopped playing in Milwaukee. A few years ago, my number came up for green package tickets. Between the seat licensing and the price of tickets, it was over $12,000. We're retired and I don't have that money at the moment. My kids didn't want them either because of the huge annual investment. So we go to one game in September. My son takes the cold game and usually end up giving away the preseason game because like that, you almost have to give that in a tip.
You eat the money on that.
There's a lot of times the preseason game, which for the longest time, they still charge the exact same price as everything else. Yeah. That was a sunken cost into however much of your 106 the face value tickets were for you.
Yeah. And it's life without Giannis now.
It's just different. It's like going to you talking about Bruce Springsteen. The E Street Band would be great, but if you don't have the lead singer, it's not the same. It's not the same product. That's just the reality.
But if you're a Bucks fan and not a Giannis fan,
that's true.
That'll be a thing. And there will be the value ones though that are able to, because just in the same vein, there's always still, I believe, going to be an 8 or 9 or 10-year-old kid that is just pulling at his dad's.
I want to go to a game.
Come on,
I was
Dad.
that guy. I was that kid.
Come on, Dad. That's not that. And then you're figuring out a way to do it. You're figuring out a way to have a 10-pack and you build in and have the set games to go to. But I think the mini packs, Drew, are probably, guys, the winners here going forward. Because I do think the games have gotten so good in viewing experience at home. Now, baseball will be a test.
Yes.
Baseball will be a test with their television rights deal that's continuing to plummet across the league, not only with the Brewers. But the production has gotten so good and the availability of it every single night on television makes it maybe not as must see. And the Bucks one is a different beast and we'll continue to harp on it until the NBA no longer has to. The toughest thing for me to sign up into an investment is, sure, if I know Giannis is or is not on the team, I can factor that into the equation. What I can't factor into the equation is for the Lakers game, if Luka and LeBron aren't there. If all of a sudden we roll up and it's the Dallas game and, I know he's a sensation, but 20-year-old Cooper Flagg has a hangnail. He's not going to be able to play tonight. Like that's going to be those are going to be times where that is a part of how you're making this equation work where sure, I'm going to be able to sell this one if Cooper's playing or if Con Knippel's playing. You can always still sell the headlining star on the other side.
That's it.
But unless you know that guy's going to play, and rarely do we know until 90 minutes before if they're going to play.
That's part of the calculus. Brewers used to market that way. It was always like, who's coming in? Like, just come see all-star players.
Yeah, for sure.
Throttle our team.
Well, and I do we joke about it, and I pinpoint 1 to 2 of Skeen's starts throughout the year because I want to go see him pitch. Do I want to see the Brewers get to him in the 6th inning? After he maybe cashes over 7.5 strikeouts at the Potawatomi Sportsbook for a parlay? Sure. Yeah, that's what I want to see. But I want to see the best players. And that's the question when you're going to commit to those at 41 games for the NBA.
Absolutely. All these players injured. The injury report on the Huddle is always brought to us by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, Ortho ASAP clinics. If you got a sports injury, walk right in. Check them out. OrthoWisconsin.com is the website. They're the best in the business. I am 2 months away from my 2-year anniversary of having my hip replaced by the fine professionals at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Check out their clinics. New one coming up in Johnson Creek. They are worth the trip in from Madison because it's world-class care right here at home.
The best.
State-of-the-art clinics, the best surgeons, the best everything. Check them out, orthowisconsin.com, Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Closing ceremonies are upon us. We got our Wake and Bake segment coming up.
Oh, this is a good one.
This is going to be a really good one. We'll continue to take your thoughts. Squeeze in some buying or selling at the NicoletLaw.com talking text line 877-794-1973. It's The Huddle on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Already time to close up shop. We just worked up a good lather. Time to shut down the huddle.
It's crazy that happens already.
Break the huddle as we do at 8 o'clock every day, but we still got time. 877-794-1973. NicoletLaw.com. Talk and text line. Hit us with a buy or sell proposition. I got a good one for you, but first, I love our wake and bake story today.
Oh, too good. Too good. Now, fellas, I really hope that this doesn't end up being some kind of AI video, because if it is, it's one of the better videos I've seen and funniest ones we've seen in a long time. Florida saw a video that was going viral yesterday of at Reel in Florida, and they're reeling them in at a brand new and widely opened, this is in the Village, a massive Florida retirement community known,
the biggest one in the world,
for its wild dating scene and quote party reputation.
Oh my gosh.
Opened a brand new Hooters.
Oh my gosh.
And the turnout the second the doors open of these young ladies laughing and giggling as like every single middle-aged guy is walking in here.
Middle-aged? These guys are all over 65.
Well,
that ain't middle-aged, my friend.
That's true. I mean,
these guys are on
I don't know. I see this guy walking in very, very young and spry and ready to roll. Now, these folks over here, they definitely have a pineapple, because this guy's got a cane.
I mean,
80% of the Village's residents are over 65.
Cutter and Buck, Peter Millar, they got to work out with that group. I mean, is that like the Tommy Bahama?
I was going to say, this is more Tommy Bahama from what it looks like. There's a kid right there.
Oh no! Well, I guess it's
Grandpa.
The chicken wings are phenomenal.
I know you're right. We went to the one on Layton when it was still there in Greenfield. I remember you went there, you had wings and you had the chicken tendies or whatever they had, and I guess so. It's just the imagery is hilarious in this video.
Hooters are closing everywhere. They're in bankruptcy,
right?
Basically.
Not there.
11.
You got to know your location. You got to know your area, and I guess there it's going to be very popular.
Well, and it's why as the video comes to us from our friend Armen, and it does say in the midst here a brand new Hooters over the summer. And the turnout was immediate. Now, they did end up having to eat the food. So very quickly, it could have been one of those that got shut down. I mean, once you have the wings and you're like, wow, these are actually lower grade than I could probably make from the freezer aisle if I didn't know how to cook, then it would be good.
Whatever. I hear a lot of, guys, come on, seriously tell me that the food is good. They're really trying to convince
Although I
me.
will tell you, I think the last time I was at a Hooters was a couple of years ago when I was down in Phoenix for the Final Four. It was one of the only places open near our hotel. It was right by the Suns Arena, and that place was live when Suns and Cavs let out. And it wasn't only the clientele that's rolling through the one in Florida.
Right, you're looking for a place to go. Yeah, I mean, even though there was 3 here, and I think they're all closed.
They're all closed.
Very much so.
Even the one in Vegas closed at Oyo.
Yeah,
I think that one. But
who was going to Oyo anyway?
That's if you want to go to Hooters, right? I mean, I
did eat there at one time.
Well, then I guess you did.
I did eat there one time. But he was on an absolute roll on that $5 blackjack. And he's like, I'm not leaving. So I'm like, well, I haven't eaten in 12 hours. So I guess we're going to Hooters.
The thing is, with any restaurant business, you got to know your clientele, your location. And I guess there is where it would be very successful.
Now, like Twin Peaks is also apparently closing around. And Twin Peaks was what people were saying, Hooters walked so Twin Peaks could run. It doesn't seem like that business model was working out too well either.
There was a Tilted Kilt too, I think.
Yeah. There's one of those in Green Bay. Tilted Kilt. It's the restaurant business. Our friends in the restaurant industry are hurting right now.
Amen to that.
COVID changed people's habits. It's more takeout now. It's always been just a brutal industry, but even now it's even rougher.
Oh, it's very, very difficult. Now
their costs are going up, and you got to pay your employees, and people aren't going out as much anymore. The young generation kind of behind us, they don't drink as much alcohol.
Definitely don't drink as much. No. And that's where the carry out is. Like, I don't know the last time. I think maybe have eaten in a restaurant probably twice in the last 8 months. Because if indeed we're going to get food, we're going to get takeout and bring it right home, because it's going to be the easiest and most less volatile situation for the family and for everybody else around. Yeah. But I'll be honest with you, after you do it for a certain amount of time, you're like, wait, why would I do that? Like, I went to see a Road at Night yesterday, and I could not tell you the last time I was in a movie theater.
That's a good point.
I'll be honest with you guys. I didn't know what to do after I bought the ticket, because they used to have Buddy standing right there, rip the ticket, say right down the aisle to the second door on your left. And the lady that sold me the ticket did it. I knew there was a perforated edge. I didn't was I supposed to rip it myself when I walked by?
You're just kind of wandering around waiting.
I haven't been to a movie theater in probably 12 years.
Yeah.
So once you go a certain amount of time without it, you quickly realize, I guess I don't really necessarily need this. However, I sat in one of those really comfy chairs
Those
yesterday.
are nice, huh? Those are
That'll
nice.
make you want to go back to the movie.
Yeah, those are nice chairs. There's
How did you not nap?
Well, and that was
not a long movie.
It was not a long movie. It was an extremely, it had you gripped for the entire time. But the other one is, Drew, I was in I learned all this, dine-in part of the movie theater.
Okay, yeah.
So you have your own table and the comfiest office chair you've ever had in your entire life.
Like you're at the Oscars, basically.
So it was hard to not potentially, lean back a little bit, but I was sitting up for the majority of the time yesterday because otherwise those dream loungers, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how somebody goes for a 2.5 hour flick. And when the Marcus boys come up to tell you about their product and their movie club, how you're not dozing off before those trailers are done.
We will have to,
I'm telling you, that was tough.
Matt Miller's comments
we'll get him,
about
man.
that.
Yeah, that's why I got to eat some. That's
again,
honestly why I got to eat popcorn. I got to eat popcorn to keep myself potentially awake. A couple of good buy or sells here, guys, on the talking text line before we get up out of here. What about Nooner George and Rapids? Morning, boys, buy or sell. I'm buying Matthew Golden. Had his sophomore slump last year, has already gotten it out of the way. Potential 1,000 yards. Buying or selling a 1,000-yard season for Matthew Golden.
1,000 is a huge threshold, but I do think he'll have a really good year. I really do. It's only going to be about opportunities and targets. It's not for lack of talent. I don't even think when you look back, Matthew Golden had a terrible year. I just think we didn't know how to handle expectations for a first-round receiver, but I do think he'll have a good year. Matthew Golden has the talent. He's got a good quarterback, and I think he'll be put in positions to succeed.
Now, I threw the 1,000-yard on top of it because he just said sophomore slump. There wasn't necessarily something to buy out of it. Would you buy that the Packers have a 1,000-yard receiver?
I would sell that probably.
Right?
Unless it's unless Tucker Kraft is completely healthy and ready to go right away. I don't know.
Watson full year, possibly on the field. Golden potentially full year, but I don't know that they've had a 1,000-yard receiver since Devontae Adams.
I don't think so.
No.
So the way that they've played and the amount
to spread it around,
the amount of games, Drew, that us sitting at Packers OT at Lambeau Field, even after a 9-point win, it's why didn't this guy get the football? I think that might kind of crowbar their way out of getting that. But I think if anybody's got the talent for it, it would be Golden. From somebody that would earn that many opportunities and one of the big mouths to feed, most likely out of the equation in Romeo Doubs. Somebody's going to jump into that spot. I know people have been waiting for Dontavian Wicks to do it. I think, you wait for that another year, you're going to be waiting another year to try to figure out who ends up taking that spot. So I think Golden's got maybe as good a chance as anybody. What about Mike and Merrill buying or selling 30-30-110 club? For Jackson Churio, 30 homers, 30 stolen bases, 110 runs driven in.
Wow. That'd be a monster.
Amazing, but I believe
MVP type
I believe
conversation.
He's the type that could do something like that. So I think that one's closer than the other one. I kind of would love to see it.
I think we're a year or so away from that kind of level of production from him, but we'll see.
And now the Jackson Churio one is you want to talk about somebody that quietly had a much better year than people would have given him credit for last year. Had the 2020 season. Last year in the midst of only 130 games and how much he was kind of up and down throughout.
Definitely quiet. Yeah, that's going to be a fascinating. Those projections are always.
Those are huge numbers. But if he does that, 97 wins is definitely going to be in the equation.
Absolutely. All right. Have we left anything on the table today? I don't know that we have.
I don't think we've missed anything outside of people wondering if Armen's going to try to find a Hooters near us to go have.
None in Wisconsin. Good luck.
You drive to Gurney?
There better be a buy one, get one or a coupon discount, or I'm not going.
You're not going to go. Well, you can't really go with the day old.
Yeah,
wing.
exactly.
You can't go with that one.
The Daytona wings were delicious. Gotta say.
I'm easy to please on food, but I just don't think I can't find one anymore.
Yeah. Thanks to Scott Dolphin for rolling with us. We will see you tomorrow at 5 a.m. It's Hot Take Hump Day. Can't wait.
Peace.